Namaste. On behalf of Project Self, United Consciousness, I, Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, welcome all of you in this global celebration of United Consciousness, International Week of Peace. UNESCO in its constitution writes that war begins in the mind of the man. And that's why even the constructs and defenses of peace also needs to be built in the mind of the man. Peace is our birthright. Three kinds of peace. My peace with myself, peace within me. Second, peace with the people around me. And third, peace on the planet, in the world in general. But due to limited identities, it appears that peace on the planet is under great threat. Limited identities of fundamentalism of religion, intolerant thoughts, wealth divide, caste divide, divide on the basis of region, fanatic nationalism, status, color of skin, racism, casteism, divide on the basis of species, human beings consider themselves owner of all the species. Divide on the basis of gender, sex orientation, habitat even. Human beings consider themselves owner of the whole planet and leads to global warming. When this divide, because of these divides, peace which should naturally flow has to be established by forces of peacekeeping. And that's why 25 years ago in United Nations General Assembly, we all as a planet adopted a resolution for culture of peace. And today, we are also celebrating 76th year of Declaration of Human Rights for the people on the planet, where dignity, equality, and justice is upheld. But it seems that we didn't improve our progress enough in that. We are seriously off track on Agenda 2030 we set for ourselves. 1 in 8 people globally is still suffering from mental disorder. Suicide is being the second leading cause of death among youth today. But still, global defense budget is twice of the global health budget. International disarmament expenditure is only 0.039% of the annual military expenditure in 2013. So United Nations alone can't do it. And that is why United Consciousness celebrates this United Nations International Day of Peace, which is a sincere attempt to raise the consciousness of the planet. Which could not be achieved by the stroke of pen or by the forces or by the resolutions can be achieved by the resolution of mankind, by rising consciousness of all. It is rising consciousness that before taking any action, I will ask 3 questions from myself. Question number 1, whether by this action will lead to uphold and sustain peace within me. Second, whether this action which I am taking will improve or sustain my peace with the people around. And third, whether the action I am taking will uphold or sustain the peace on the planet. Because peace is not only absence of conflict. At individual level, peace is the presence of the feeling of joy, serenity, dignity, hope, freedom in me. With other people, peace stands for joyful interpersonal relationships based on love and equality, where I can see me in you, you in me, and us in all. Peace on the planet is also celebrating oneness and this diversity beyond limited divides. So every action which we take should end with disseminating more peace on the planet. In Sanskrit, peace is called Shanti. So peace within myself, peace with others, and peace in the world also. United Consciousness International Week of Peace celebration is one of the world's biggest celebration of United Nations International Day of Peace. The celebration begins on 14th of September, and this celebration will continue till 22nd of September with a hope that even if this event is over, the celebration of peace and happiness will continue resonating in everybody's life on the planet. In this program, life coaches, spiritual masters, academicians, public representatives, public servants, scientists, artists, bureaucrats, and all statesmen of repute are coming from different parts of the world, from all 6 continents of the world, because we stand together for a peaceful world. Dear friends, let's join hands together in saying, before we do anything and after we do anything, invoking the higher within and saying, Om Shanti, may there be peace within me. Om Shanti, may there be peace around me. Om Shanti, may there be peace on the planet, in the world. On behalf of Project Self, European Yoga Federation, Yoga Australia, Yoga Vidya Spiritual Council in Africa, AYT, and other important sister organizations of United Consciousness, I welcome all of you to join the celebration for the joy of life. Namaste.
Welcome to United Consciousness, where one consciousness, one being, is more than just a belief. It's a movement, a global initiative that unites us all in the pursuit of peace, spiritual wisdom, and universal happiness. It's a global mission that's touching life across continents. If you have ever felt the need for connection, spiritual guidance, or just a sense of belonging, you are in the right place. Welcome to United Consciousness. United Consciousness is not just an organization. It's a living, breathing community dedicated to enhance the holistic well-being of over 3 lakh individuals worldwide. Our mission is simple yet profound. One consciousness, one being. We believe that by connecting with our higher selves and each other, we can live lives filled with purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. Together, we are building a global community that shares this vision, helping each other unlock our full potential. Our logo says it all. The lotus symbolizes enlightenment, peace, and infinite universal consciousness. The petals represent all beings in the universe, interconnected and overlapping, signifying our togetherness. And that white essence in the center, it's the one source from which all beings originated. Every detail carries meaning, right down to the 14 petals, which reminds us to transcend our limited identities. And speaking of transcendenting identities, our vision aligns perfectly with the global movement of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. With the presence in over 100 countries, our reach is global. We are not just spreading a message, we are creating a cohesive network of individuals and organizations working together to eliminate limited identities and promote peace and happiness across the planet. But what does joining United Consciousness means to you? It means gaining access to tools and resources that will help you build mental resilience, overcome stress, depression, and anxiety, and elevate your spiritual journey. And that's just the beginning. Our live question and answer sessions with the world-renowned speakers provide you with the opportunity to get all your life questions answered, whether you are seeking spiritual upliftment, emotional intelligence, or simply a community that stands and supports you. United Consciousness is here to help you thrive in this complex world. So why wait? Join us on this transformative journey. Let's create a world where peace and happiness are not just a distant ideals, but a tangible reality we can all experience here and now. United consciousness, one being, together we can make the difference. It's my pleasure to invite and introduce Professor Sanjay Shrivastava, the esteemed Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Central University, Bihar. He is a distinguished academic leader with a rich background in political science and international relations. Prior to joining MGCU, he served as a professor at Banaras Hindu University, where he contributed extensively to research, curriculum development, and administration. Professor Shrivastava's expertise in India's foreign policy, conflict resolution, and peace building has earned him several prestigious positions, including being a Fulbright visiting scholar and a nominee by the Honorable President of India on the Executive Council of Jamia Millia Islamia. He has held influential roles on various committees, including NAAC and UGC, and has delivered lectures on India's foreign policy across the globe. His international recognition includes serving as the ICCR Chair of Contemporary Indian Studies at Yerevan State University, Armenia, a Salzburg Seminar Fellow and UGC Career Award recipient. Professor Shrivastava continues to contribute to academia through major research projects, leadership training, and global collaborations, embodying excellence in both scholarship and administration. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Professor Sanjay Shrivastava.
Namaste, sir. Most welcome.
Namaskar.
Really honored to see you and have you in this global program. Whole stage is yours, sir. We are looking forward to listen from you about the topic, the role of inner peace in youth empowerment. Pranam, sir.
So, thank you, Dr. Vikrant Umarji, for providing me this excellent platform. And to the listeners, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. When we talk about inner peace, actually, it is the tranquility of mind, the calmness, the serenity, when the mind is free of any confusion, bewilderment, or any sort of binary or any sort of dilemma. Now, there are, in this world, the fast globalizing world where information technology is very important, component of our life. Social media is there. Then we have a lot of social cleavages, regional cleavages, as well as international, fissures. So individuals, life become a sort of full of stress, full of tension, full of worries and excitement and such kind of anxiety, such kind of things. So how to develop inner peace is something very, very important, very significant question of today's, especially of today's youth. So, when we say that how we can, achieve mindfulness, how we can achieve tranquility of mind. So, there are, many ways we can do it. For example, if we talk about 14 Dalai Lama, he said that the question of real lasting world peace concerns human beings. So basic human feelings are also as its roots. Through inner peace, genuine world peace can be achieved. In this, importance of individual responsibility is quite clear. An atmosphere of peace must first be created within ourselves, then gradually expanded to include our families, our communities, and ultimately the whole planet. Now, there are many ways we can, achieve this mindfulness, achieve this serenity of mind. For example, we can meditate, we can live in the present, such kind of thing, cultivate a positive mindset, then develop the love for yourself, practice self care, visualize a peaceful place, learn to breathe effectively, uh, access to nature, be very close to nature, be grateful, work on acceptance, practice non-judgment. You need not to be quite judgmental in your approach to others or approach to society, foster deeper connection. Such kind of things are there, but they are bereft of any philosophical foundation. They are bereft of any philosophical framework of life, that how the life should be or how an individual should behave in the life. So for this, Indian philosophy is very important. It can explain you how to behave, what should be your dispositions, what should be your approach, attitude, and perspective towards life, and what you should do as a human being when you are on earth. Uh, you know, um, you would have might have heard about Lord Krishna and his creation, Bhagavad Gita, where he propounds the philosophy of Sankhya, and that is based on also on equanimity, that one should be, indifferent to pleasure and pains, and sorrow and happiness. So this, what is this Sankhya, and how does it progress, is very necessary, and this gives you a philosophical framework that can determine, your actions, and finally you will have a inner peace as well as the social and the regional or international peace. Now, you imagine, nearly 4,000 years back, Lord Krishna had given these ceremonies, that what is our duty, how we should perform our karma, and our deeds, and what kind of, religiously we should put our efforts on our karma. So you imagine that there is a war field where the cousins are pitted against each other, pitched against each other, and one is Arjun, who is a disciple of Lord Krishna. And when Arjun sees that there are, in the opposite camp of the army, there are his brothers and his uncles and maternal uncles and friends and, colleagues, he refused to fight that religious war, which had happened because the Pandavas were deprived of, their rights and their privileges. So Lord Krishna tells him, he gives, Arjun is very scared that he's going to kill his uncles and his brothers in the war, and what he's going to get out of it. So that was a big question before Arjuna. So Lord Krishna tells him, that what should be his disposition, what should be his approach to, such kind of war or such kind of activity, and the dutifulness, and how he should be on the how she should, behave in the line of duty. Lord Krishna says, Hatova va prapsasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim tasmad utishta kante yudhaya kritanishaya. It means, if you fight, you will either be slain on the battlefield and go to the celestial abodes, or you will gain victory and enjoy the kingdom of earth. Therefore, arise with determination, O son of Kunti, and be prepared to fight. So it means that the Lord is saying that doing, waging this war is your duty, and you need to, you should not care about what the result will be. And about the results, he has very profound sermons and sermon, and very popular also in India and the other parts of the world, where Lord Krishna says that this is the second chapter of Gita, verse 47. Karmane vadika raste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karm phal heturubhu mate sangostu swakarmani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Neither consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, nor be attached to inaction. You just see how the Lord is telling about the equanimity, how he's telling about that only duty is important, and the individual has the rights over his duties, his karmas, his actions. He has no right over the result of that karma, and he should not bind himself to the result or the fall of that karma. So this is something very important, and that will streamline your action, that will streamline your duty, and that will not scare you even killing your brothers and cousins and your uncles when you are fighting a war for the sake of righteousness. Now Lord again says in chapter 2, verse 38, Sukh dukhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yudhai yujasvam nevam papam vapsas. Lord says, fight for the sake of duty, treating alike happiness and distress, loss and gain, victory and defeat. Fulfilling your responsibility in this way, you will never incur sin. That if you follow the principle of equanimity, and you are not perturbed by pleasure or pain or comfort or discomfort, profit or loss, victory or defeat, then you are going to have a kind of karma which is free of sins. Lord also says, he tells about that how an individual should be. He uses the term sthit pragya. Sthit pragya is a sort of, I should say, the transcendentally situated human being, the human being who is indifferent to sorrow and pleasure, to gains and losses, defeat and victory. And Lord says in verse 55, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parth manugatan atmanyev atmana tushta sthit pragya tadochyate. Lord says that when one discards all selfish desires and cravings of the senses that torment the mind and becomes satisfied in the realization of self, such a person is said to be transcendentally situated. So, all through Gita, Lord tells about that human beings should be transcendentally situated. They should not be affected by the pleasures or the pains. So, this is the equanimity, and this equanimity can bring inner peace, that can bring that can make today's youth to fight the stress, to fight the anxiety, and fight the mental tension. So, and this is not something very easy that you can attain the transcendental situation. It requires a lot of practice. It requires a lot of principle of self limitation, self encapsulation, that how you will not be attached to your gains or the losses and victory or the defeat. So this requires a lot of practice. But if one is sthit pragya or transcendentally situated, he is working on the principle of equanimity, then he will be full of peace. He will be full of mindfulness and free of tension. Lord says that in Gita, he not only tells the goal, but he also tells how to reach to that goal, how to become sthit pragya or transcendentally situated. Lord says, dhyayato vishyaye punsah sangasteshu samjayate sangat sanjayate kamah kamat krodhopajayate krodha bhavati sammohat smriti vibhrama smriti bhrinshat buddhi nashat pranshati. Lord says that While contemplating on the objects of senses, one develops attachment to them. Attachment leads to desire, and from desire arises anger if the desire is not fulfilled. So, Lord says that don't be attached to desire, don't be attached to the result of your karma. Anger leads to clouding of judgment, which results in bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, the intellect get destroyed, and when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. So this is the whole, chronology of or the sequence of the event, that if we are, attracted towards objects or the senses or such kind of gains, then finally we are going to have the desire for them, and if our desire is not fulfilled, then it will generate anger, and anger will lead to clouding of the judgment, and which will result in the bewilderment, which will result in the loss of the memory, and then finally our intellect is destroyed, and when intellect is destroyed, then everything is destroyed and the one is ruined. So one should be transcendentally situated as per Gita. This is something very, very philosophical, and this gives you a philosophical basis of life, how to live life. It's not just you are doing meditation, you are doing yoga, or you are doing some exercises to become mindfulness. You will be perturbed when when you face difficult situation, but if you follow these Sankhya Yoga of this Sankhya Yoga of Gita, then you will have to be, profoundly rooted in the philosophy of Gita, a philosophy of being a Sipragya, philosophy of being, equanimity, and then you will be able to fight the very, very difficult situation. These, doing yoga, doing exercises, or have a positive kind of thinking. These are just for the things which can keep your inner peace working only for few on few occasions only. But if you want to have it on the ideological basis, that is forever, then you need to follow this Sankhya Yoga of Gita. Now Lord uh, tells about the reality of the Muni, or who is a transcendental human being. Lord says, ya nisha sarvbhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. What all beings consider as day in the night of ignorance for the wise, and what all creatures see as night is the day for the introspective sage. So if you want to achieve the permanent, inner peace, you need to study, or I would recommend that you study the philosophy that is propounded in Gita, enshrined in Sankhya Yoga, and that gives you, the concept of equanimity, give you concept of a sthit pragya, or transcendentally situated human being, and how you have rights over your duties, your karma, but you do not have right over its results, and the results should not digress you from your karma. So this gives you a philosophy which is more profound, which is more permanent, and that will be something lifelong, because other things could be for some time only, but this philosophy of Gita, of karma yoga, is going to give you a lot of sense of satisfaction, sense of purpose, sense of righteousness, sense of confidence, and the inner peace. And if you follow, if the individual human beings follow this all through their life, they will have the inner peace, because they are not looking at the results, they are not attached to the results, they are not, there is no enamoring for the result. The enamoring is, or the right is, only over the karma or the action or the duty, and an individual has no right over the results of that karma. And if we keep ourselves indifferent in the situation of loss or gains, or getting money or not getting money, victory and the defeat, then it is definitely going to provide us inner peace. But for this, we need to do a lot of practice of Sankhya. We need to, teach to ourselves there that we are bound to this ideologically. It should not be occasional that at sometimes we are doing it and sometimes we are not. And in ancient India, our sages have been doing this, and they to a very great extent, have been able to get the inner peace, have been able to get the social peace and the regional peace. So I would recommend the Sankhya Yoga of Gita for having inner peace, which has a philosophical foundation, which has something which one can argue, something which can one can suspect and get the answer for his queries, his suspicion, or such kind of things. It is based on the argumentativeness. Also, you have the arguments, you have the formulations and the counter formulation, the concepts, and these concepts over several centuries have been practiced by the people. The things like vipassana are also they also get originated from this. That gives you inner peace. So it is something a very great legacy India is having through its philosophical cultural consciousness and the civilizational consciousness. And if this message of Bhagavad Gita is spread all through the world, I think we are going to have a great time ahead. And besides doing our meditation, our yoga, and such kind of things, we if we want to have a deeper availability of inner peace, then we need to work on Sankhya Yoga and the philosophy of Gita, what Lord has told us. And it is something which is very well profounded. I mean, there is no doubt about this knowledge. There is no doubt about this philosophy or this concept or this notion or the proposition. And it is something which is already there and in our scriptures. So with these words, I thank you. And
thank you very much, sir. I think this message is so profound. You summarized the summary of whole Bhagavad Gita is chapter 2, and you actually summarized chapter 2 also. So it is a kind of Sarvasar Upanishad that you mentioned right now, the summary of all summary. And this message, what you just now gave, is being telecasted basically for Eastern time zone, EST, for North American and South American continent. They are watching it. They are starting their day with this message. 10:15 to 10:30 was the time, morning time. They are listening to this. And you rightly mentioned, sir, that in order to bring that inner peace, first to identify your own swadharma hatova prapyasi swargam jitva bhokshase mahim. So beautifully you mentioned. And once walking on the path of your swadharma, you mentioned karmani eva adhikaraste. Focus on your efforts and don't worry about the results. And when ups and downs in life come, then you also mentioned samatvam yogachate, be equipoised in that. And you also called upon youth to be sthit pragya, transcendentally situated human beings. And how to do that? If you fail to do that, you also mentioned about the vicious cycle of decay, where how our possessiveness and attachment leads, and we perish because of it. You called upon Nishkam Karma Yoga, and you also mentioned Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam. I'm sure that listening all these things, our youth will be awake in the light of wisdom. And at the end, you never forgot to tell them that we need to practice it. These philosophies are great indeed, but we need to live these philosophies. I am personally very much inspired listening to it. I'm sure the audience who will be listening to it from different parts of the world will also be inspired. Thank you very much, sir, for your time, effort, and guidance. It means a lot to us.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Professor Sanjay Srivastava for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much. We are honored to introduce Sebastian Chavez, a profoundly talented musician whose life and art have become intertwined with the pursuit of healing and spiritual growth through music. With 42 years of life experience in a heart rooted in Colombia, Sebastian has spent his career using music as a language to explore the depth of the human soul and connect with the very essence of life. His journey has taken him to diverse territories, including Colombia, Peru, Mexico, and United States, where he has shared his music at festivals and events. In each place, he has found unique resonance and collaborated with other musicians and instrumentalists, enriching his own connection to the art sound. His music, deeply influenced by themes of love, nature, spirituality, and healing, is a transformative experience utilizing an array of string instruments, flutes, drums, and sound healing techniques. Along with the power of his voice, he creates soundscapes that are designed to touch the heart and elevate the spirit. For Sebastian, music is a path to mental peace and transformation, and he is deeply grateful to share his vision at the World Peace Congress. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Sebastian Chavez.
Welcome, Mr. Sebastian. What a wonderful day, what a wonderful time, and what a wonderful topic, and what a wonderful speaker we have today. So, all stage is yours, Mr. Sebastian. We are eager to listen from you about music as a means to mental peace. Over to you. Next 13 minutes, world over, listening to you.
Thank you so much. Big hug to you, and thank you. I want to begin by thanking the organizers for inviting me to this important event, the International Life of Peace of United Consciousness 2024. It's an honor to be here with so many individuals working towards a more peaceful and conscious world. For me, this space is an opportunity to share something very close to my heart, the power of the music as a means of healing and connection to peace. As far back as I can remember, music has been a part of my life. From the age of 3 or 4, I was deeply connected to the sounds around me. At the age of 8, my father, who is a guitarist, taught me to play the instrument. My mother was also a great influence. She loved to sing and wrote her own songs. Listening to her sing and seeing how she expressed her feelings through the music was an invaluable gift in my life. At 14, I began to compose, expressing my experiences through songs. Over time, I realized that music was not just something I did for pleasure, it was a gift of life, an anchor that kept me on the right path during difficult times. In many of those moments, music was what held me together, preventing me from straying down darker paths. Now I can see that all the dark moments I had to go through were necessary to understand what I truly needed. Over the years, through my spiritual and mystical journey, I came to understand that music is more than a skill or talent. It is a right that we all possess, intrinsic and underlying in our being. It doesn't matter if we can play an instrument or not, of if we sing or not. Music is integrated into our being, into our vibration. In many cultures, from Native American to Eastern tradition, it has been understood that music, from its fundamental vibration, is part of creation itself. From shamanic chants to mantras, music is not just an art, but a force that connects the human to the divine. The vibration we carry in our hearts is also present in nature, in the songs of birds, in the sound of the wind, in the flow of water. When we listen to music, we connect with something deeper, something that transcends words and connect us with the sacred. Music is not just sound, it is also silence. Silence is the space where sound is born and expands. In silence, we can hear the most subtle nuances that make music what it is. Silence has its own song, and it is vital for us to appreciate sound. In the same way, moments of silence and stillness in our lives allow us to connect with what is essential. Silence teaches us to listen not only to external sounds but also to our internal vibrations. Just like in music, pauses in the life allow us to observe more deeply and highlight what is the most essential and important. It's important to highlight that I know the embodiment of peace itself. I don't live in a constant state of serenity. For me, peace is not place without chaos or conflict. I have learned that peace is accepting life in its entirety with all its discontrasts. Life is full of difficult moments, noises that can be disturbing. Sometimes those noises come from pain, suffering, and uncertainty, but these noises are part of life. For me, peace is not the absence of conflict, but the acceptance of all sounds, all colors, or experience, and understanding that in this experience lies the complete gift of life, because there resides the lesson and purpose of our existence. Just like in music, where discordant sounds can form part of beautiful symphony. In life, difficult moments also contribute to our growth and understanding. True peace is accepting those moments as part of the totality for our existence. I would like to share a brief story with you. There was a time in my life when I had to say goodbye to my 8-year-old daughter. It was one of the deepest grief I have experienced. During that time, music became my way of processing the pain. Words couldn't express what I felt, but music could. Through my songs, I found a way to accept what had happened. What surprised me most was that people from different countries who didn't know speak Spanish and did not understand the lyrics of my songs wrote to me to say how these songs helped them said goodbye to their loved ones. They felt that music helped them find peace in their griefs. This made me realize that music, beyond words, transmit, transmits vibration and essence that connects with the deepest parts of the being human. The intention and emotion behind music are more powerful than the lyrics themselves. That vibration can heal and he'll find peace in pain. Finally, I would like to emphasize that world peace is not an external concept, but something that begins in the mind of each one of us. If we have mental peace, we contribute to a more peaceful world. In all start with how we perceive and process our experiences, how we accept the sound of light and integrate them into our own symphony. Music is a powerful tool for achieving this mental peace. By listening, playing, and creating music, we connect with who we truly are. It helps it helps us find balance and serenity in chaos. It reminds us that although external sounds may be disruptive, there is always a space of calm and harmony that we can access whenever we choose. Music is more than an art. It's a healing tool, a way to connect with our essence and with others. It allows us to process our emotion, accept life challenges, and find peace in chaos. Let us all remember that we carry this vibration in our hearts, and that by cultivating peace in our minds, we contribute to a more peaceful world. Music is a way to express and expand that peace beyond words, beyond borders, resonating in the very essence of our beings. Um, I want to share a short melody with the flute, with a lot of love for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my dear Sebastian G. I must tell you, it is the finest speech I heard on music in this whole 7, 8 days conference. I would love to listen your speech once again. So beautifully you mentioned about that music connects human to divine. Music, it not just sound, it's silence too. Silence has its own song. Oh my goodness. Moment of silence and stillness allows us to connect what is essential in life. And you rightly said that peace is not the absence of noise, but you also said it is acceptance of all ups and downs in life. Difficult moments also contribute. You shared your own life difficult moment, and we all felt like hugging you in love. But when you mentioned how music helped you to channelize your grief, and you rightly said what words couldn't express what I felt, but music could express it. And people who did not even understood Spanish language, they could also feel connected with what you produce. So you rightly said that music helped peace to establish peace in grief beyond words and beyond memories. So I'm sending you my astral hug, my dear brother in divine. So happy to meet you. Would like to thank Elisa also to have recommended you in this program. And we extend our invitation to you to come to Ujjain, India, where the same programs, physical program will happen on 14th, 15th, and 16th of February 2025. Please plan yourself, visit Ujjain, India. We'll be very happy to host you here. Most welcome.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me. Thank you for this space. And I hope to share with you in more space like this. And I'm going to study more English because I want to know you and a lot of people, beautiful people that work about this topic and these beautiful um, messages.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Most welcome.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Mr. Sebastian Chavez for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much. I feel delighted to welcome and introduce Mr. Yatendra Chauhan, a certified yoga teacher with over 3 decades of experience in yoga, naturopathy, and holistic health. He is deeply passionate about transforming lives through mindful practices. Currently associated with United Consciousness, he is dedicated to promote wellness and natural living. His journey began with a long-term association with the Institute of Yoga and Ayurveda and Arogya Seva Samiti since 1997. He has also worked as a civil engineer for the Maharashtra government from 1985 to 2012, demonstrating a diverse professional background. His expertise in yoga is complemented by advanced education including a diploma in yogic science, naturopathy, and ongoing pursuit of an MA in yoga. An avid practitioner, he performs 108 Surya Namaskars daily and achieved a milestone of completing 500 Surya Namaskars in 5 hours in 2022. He has showcased his yoga skills internationally, notably at the United Consciousness Conclave 2023 and online in Germany. His passion for trekking, running, and teaching yoga reflects his dedication to living a balanced, purposeful life. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Yatendra Chauhan.
Most
नमस्कार
welcome,
एवरीवन।
Chauhan साहब. नमस्ते, आपका बहुत स्वागत है. एंड आपके साथ आपका भी नाम बताएं. आपका भी बहुत स्वागत है.
सोनाली सोनाली मैडम।
सोनाली जी, आपका भी बहुत स्वागत है. चौहान साहब, आपका भी बहुत स्वागत है. आने वाले 13 मिनट पूरा ग्लोबल स्टेज आपका है. ऑल योर्स. थैंक यू वेरी मच. प्रणाम.
Thank you, sir.
नमस्कार एवरीवन। We would like to give thanks to United Consciousness to give us the wonderful opportunity. Today, Sonali madam will give the instruction and I will show the demo.
Namaste and good evening, everyone. Today we will practice few asanas which are not useful for our digestive system, respiratory system, and excretory and circulatory system, but is also helpful for our back, our spine. The spine is most important part of our body, and without it, we couldn't keep ourselves upright or even straight. So the spine gives our body a structure and support. So we will let's see some asanas which are very useful to our spine. Let's see the demo. So our first practice is Sulabha Pavan Muktasana. So we will bring our legs together. We will bring our legs together, hand by the side of your body, and just raise your legs at the 30-degree and bring the folded knees towards the chest. Now interlock the fingers and rest them on the knees. Now if you don't have any back problem, then only raise your head up and bring the chin near to your board, near to your knee. Now close the eyes and just take your mind from the body to the breath and just count the breath, inhalation and exhalation together as one breath. Now, this asana will give the good pressure on your abdomen, good massage to the internal organ of your abdomen. Now, for coming out of this Pavan Muktasana, slowly take your mind from the breath to the body and slowly open your eyes and slowly take your head on the floor. Now, release the fingers and keep the hand by the side of the body. Now, slowly straighten your legs at the 30-degree and slowly, without banging your legs, slowly keep your legs on the floor. Now, take your hands away from your body, palm facing to the sky, legs away from each other, and just relax your body and enjoy the after effect of Pavan Muktasana on your body and mind. Now, our next practice is Sulabha Setu Bandhasan. For going to the Sulabh Setu Bandhasan, Setu means bridge. So, going to the bridge pose, easy. Sulabh means easy. So, we are doing easy bridge pose. So, going to the Sulabh Setu Bandhasan, first make your feet vertical where they are and take your hand by the side of the body, palms resting on the floor. Now, fold your both the legs one by one together at the knees and just start raising your lower back, middle back up to the upper back. This is the bridge pose. Now close your eyes and take your mind from the body to the breath and just count your breath. Inhalation and exhalation as together, like inhale and exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Like that you count 7 breaths. Okay. Here your spine is upright. It will improve your spine flexible. Okay. For coming out of the asana, Sulabh Setu Bandhasana, slowly take your mind from the breath to the body. Open your eyes slowly and just slowly start taking your back, middle back on the floor, lower back on the floor, and rest your buttocks on the floor and now straighten your legs one by one. And now your hands are away from the body, palms are facing to the floor, sky, and just relax your feet and just relax. Enjoy the after effect of Setu Bandhasan on your body and mind with closing your eyes. Good. Now our next asana that is also for spine, that is Sulabha Uttana Vakrasana. Vakram is twist. So this asana will give nice twist to our spine. So going to the Sulabha Uttana Vakrasana, make your feet vertical and keep the hand by the side of your body, palms resting on the floor. Sorry, take your legs together one by one and now fold your legs at the knees and bring your heels near to your buttocks. Now interlock your fingers and interlocking fingers keep below the head. Okay, now you have to take your head to the right side and legs to the left side. Slowly. Here you have to keep your knees, heels and toes together. Knees on the knees, toes on the toes, heels on the heels. And close your eyes and again take your mind from the body to the breath and count your breath. Here, see, your body is like twisted, your spine is twisted. This is a curative and preventive practice for diabetes. Okay, now going to the other side, you come to the center. You take your legs and head in the center and go to the other side. So take your head to the left side and legs to the right side slowly. Heels on the heels, toes on the toes and knees on the knees. Here again close your eyes and take your mind from the body to the breath. Good. Maintain the asana as per your capacity. Now for releasing, again take your mind from the breath to the body, slowly open your eyes and again come back to the center, take your head and legs in the center. Release the fingers and keep the hand by the side of your body, palms on the floor. Now straighten your legs away, hands away and just relax yourself. Enjoy the after effect of Sulabha Uttana Vakrasana on your body and mind. Now from supine position, we are going to the prone position. So slowly take the support of one hand and come on your abdomen. These all asanas are good for your spine. Okay, now he's lying on his abdomen, his legs are away, heels are inward, toes are outward. He's folding hands at the elbows, palm rest facing to the sky, head in one side. Now we are going to do Sulabha Kokilasana. So for going to the Kokilasana, bring both the legs together in one unit, like one unit in the center, knees, big toes and heels are together. Now straighten your hands, palms are still facing to the sky. Now keep the forehead on the floor, and then brush your nose and chin on the floor. Now fold your hands at the elbows and keep the palms near to your face. Now slowly raise your head and chest and slowly bring your elbows together and rest your chin on your together palms. It's also give nice stretch to our spine, stretch to the abdomen. So this improves the flexibility to spine. Obviously, it improves your digestion also. Here, you can maintain this asana easily for 5 minutes also, but we have short of time. That's why we are going to release our asana. So slowly open your eyes. Now slowly rest your palms or forearm on the floor. And again, take your chest on the floor, chin on the floor, brush your nose on the floor and rest your forehead on the floor. Straighten your hands at the elbows. Now turn your head to the one side, other side, and fold your hands at the elbows, distance between your legs, and just relax yourself. Breathing is going normal and natural. Enjoy the after effect of Kokilasana on your body and mind. Now our next asana is good for our lumbar region. So that is the Sulabha Shalabhasana. So going to the Shalabhasana, again bring your legs together in center, right, left, knees, big toes and heels are together. Straighten your hands, keep the forehead on the floor and brush your chin and nose and fix the chin on the floor. Now make a fist of your palms and insert that fist below your thigh. Taking support of your thigh, slowly raise your legs up in the air. This is the final posture of Shalabhasana. Now close your eyes and just take your mind on your breath and count your breath. Here, don't fold your legs at the knees. You have to keep your legs straight. Now, releasing the asana, you have to take your mind from the breath to the body and slowly open your eyes and slowly land your legs on the floor. Don't bag your legs and just take your feet out. Release your fingers. Now brush the nose on the floor and keep the forehead on the floor. Turn your head to the one side. Fold your legs and just relax your legs. And just enjoy the after effect of Sulabha Shalabhasana on your body and mind. Now, our next asana is Sulabha Vrishikasana. Now, again, you take your legs together. Hands, straighten your hands. Forehead on the floor. Now fold the legs, hands at the elbows and bring the palms near to your face. Now brush your nose, chin on the floor and slowly raise your head, chest and simultaneously take your hands, slide your hands forward. Now here shoulder and elbows in one line. Now fold the legs at the knees, both the legs. Good. Maintain. This is Sulabha Vrishikasana. Take your chin up as much as possible. That is give a nice stretch to your thyroid and parathyroid gland. It will strengthen all the muscles. And just close your eyes and just enjoy the breathing. Maintain. Good. Now, again, for releasing the asanas, again take your mind from the breath to the body, open your eyes and slowly straighten your legs first and then slowly take your hands, glide your hands back, simultaneously take your chest on the floor, chin on the floor. Now brush your chin on the floor and nose on the floor and keep the forehead on the floor. And now straighten your hands. Now turn your head, relax your elbows, relax your legs, and just relax yourself. Now turn to the one side and be seated. Slowly sit down. Okay, the last two asana, that is Sulabha Shashankasana and Sulabha Ushtrasana. Now for going to the Shashankasana, sit in Vajrasana, legs together, hand by the side of the body, fold the legs one by one, right leg, and take the heels beside, then left leg, take the heels beside, and just sit in Vajrasana. Now, palms on the thigh. Now, slowly raise your hands up in the air, above the head. Chin is up, and slowly take your chin up and start bending forward slowly. Here, slowly, with the control movements, you have to bend forward. Don't raise your buttock. Here, rest your elbows on the floor, forehead on the floor, and just relax your entire body. Here, your spine is relaxed. This asana, you give pressure on the abdomen. Enjoy that pressure. Good. Here you are again, you are on breath. Enjoy. Okay, now coming out of this Sulabha Shashankasana, again, you have to take your mind from the breath to the body, open your eyes. Now, without raising our body, glide your hands back. Take your hands back and make your spine straight. Now, take your hands on the thighs. You are again come to the Vajrasana. Just close your eyes and enjoy the after effect of Sulabha Shashankasana on your body and mind. Here, we are not wasting our time, so we are going to the Sulabha Ushtrasana in this position. So, stand on the knees, kneel down, that is, you can keep the distance between your knees because this is Sulabh, this is easy posture of camel pose. Okay, now slowly take your hands back and rest your palm on your waist.
Sonali-ji, namaste. I'm afraid time is up.
Okay, no problem, sir. Thank you so much.
We would like to extend
for giving
our
us chance.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
that you took us to this excellent yogasana ride, and I'm sure that physically peaceful body will make physically peaceful body will make a mentally peaceful world. Thank you very much, Sonali ji. Thank you very much, Chauhan Saab. It means a lot.
Thank you,
very
sir,
much.
for calling us. Keep blessing. Keep your sneh.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us support. Bye-bye.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Mr. Yatendra Chauhan for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much.
Project Self, a non-profit organization that stands for empowering humanity with essential life skills for building a strong foundation for lifelong wellness. Our programs help individuals to gain better health, emotional intelligence, and spiritual awareness. Classes include kids yoga, adult yoga, mindfulness meditation, and scriptural studies. Yoga for kids are designed to keep the kids as kids, resilient, focused, and fit. Kid-friendly program focus on their social and emotional well-being.
The ultimate solution prescribed by Krishna is the self-knowledge, because only with the self-knowledge all our sufferings and problems can be removed.
Understanding and learning scriptures will help you lead a life with its full potential. It will help you to find peace, happiness, and contentment in life. Yoga for adult focus on physical postures that bring balance, flexibility, and body awareness. Carefully crafted program covers different aspects of meditation that bring body-mind relaxation and other powerful benefits including stress reduction.
Being a part of Project Self for over 5 years has not only given me so many physical benefits from doing yoga, but also many mental benefits from learning about mindfulness, wellness, and how to de-stress.
Pranayama class has helped me learn proper breathing technique, and the meditation class has helped me focus my mind better.
I am learning Vedanta as well as Bhagavad Gita to connect myself to the spiritual world as well as to understand the real meaning of this life.
It is with great admiration that we introduce Mr. Amitabh Pandey, the esteemed director of the National Museum of Mankind, Indira Gandhi Rashtriya Manav Sangrahalaya, Bhopal, under the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. His visionary leadership is currently focused on developing a unique living museum, a pioneering efforts in Asia and the world dedicated to showcasing and preserving intangible heritage and cultural knowledge. With 29 years of distinguished experience in environment anthropology and cultural conservation, he is recognized expert in public policy, sustainable development, and climate change adaptation. His academic credentials are equally impressive, holding a doctorate in environment anthropology and public policy from Hyderabad University and a background in physics from Allahabad University. Mr. Pandey's profound dedication and expertise not only enhances our understanding of culture and environmental issues, but also inspires us all to appreciate and protect our shared heritage. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Amitabh Pandey.
Most welcome, sir. Whole stage is yours. You are heartily welcome. We people from different parts of the world join to listen from you about the topic which you'll be speaking today. Thank you very much, sir. And this program, United Consciousness International Day of Peace, is being telecasted and will be seen by people for around 100 countries of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the topic of your talk is you mention and then you speak will be great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Vikrant, for that wonderful introduction. Just few hiccups was there, and the topic which was given to me was environmental justice and spiritual responsibility, healing the earth as a sacred duty. Basically, when whole human civilization was working, so they interfaces with the nature, and they had a respectful attitude toward nature. If you see the communities which are indigenous, they have a totems, taboos, where they didn't try to harm the nature, or they interacted with the nature in a such a way that it seeked permission from the nature to use it. So there was a practice when in time long, when we started living as a homo sapiens on this earth, we had a practice of dealing with it. With the gradual development process and the modern changes, somehow this some practices have waned away, and that's where the environmental justice came into it. Are we doing justice with the nature where we are living it, or we are trying to harm it? As I can say, it's when you see the nature has been always kind and giving everyone a lot of whatever the human desires. So there is abundance of which you can take it from the nature, but then again it has a limit. So whenever the limit is crossed, the environmental injustice happen. Best example is the way we have exploited the forest. Forest was in such a nature that we were able to meet our needs, but then urbanization and other things are there. When I worked with the communities, I've been working with communities across India in all the provinces, where I find they have a very beautiful practice of conserving nature through worships, and even keeping a forest as a sacred, what we call as sacred groves. So all the elements which is required is conserved in those grooves, and there is a very systematic approach of engaging into it. Similarly, there is a mythologies which are associated with the nature, and how do you respect it. So basically, the spiritualities of the environment and nature has existed in human. In Indian context, Himalaya becomes a abode of God, where we all go try to seek spiritual solutions to it. Again, ocean becomes a place where we go it. So the forest becomes a place where we go it. So the environment has been always there, which does it. When it comes to environmental justice debate, which is happening across the world, there are two views I can put it. The Western view sees as a very right-based approach, where you are seeking with the inequalities and other things. In case of the Oriental approach, it is very different. You see the environment which is now, if my river is being lost, my spiritual element is lost. In Indian, all the rivers are worshipped, and all rivers are a place where we find several cultural engagements, starting from birth, your rice passage, your death ceremony, all are connected with the nature in Indian context. So there becomes a question of environmental justice different. If your uh, this elements of environment, if nature, if they are lost, then you have a issue of how your spirituality can be taken up. Because we have a river within the central India called Narmada River, and then there is a practice of taking a round of the river, starting from the origin, going to the sea, crossing over it, and going back to, and that's where seen as something spirituality, where we want to worship the nature in that way. So those things are practice which already exist in nature, but once this river dries out because of some element of deforestation, the whole belief system is impacted, and the human spirituality is hurt there. So that's become a very important. Recently, in one, 2, 3 years back, that river dried in a portion of it, and that is considered to be a perennial river. That's why this whole parikrama, way they call it, taking a circle of the river, that was sometimes it hurts people, that the continuity of river is lost. So when you talk about environmental justice, the justice is that whatever the nature has given, whatever the community is trying to do it, there has to be in natural form, where my emotions and my spiritual connect are there. Similarly, with the sacred groves which I have worked across India, they are the 1,000 acres or 1,000 hectares of forest to a small forest. If you saw Kerala, there is a forest which conserves snakes. So it is a place where the snakes are worshipped, and snakes are kept there. So their grooves is important, and they say they worship the snake. And recently, there is a festival which happens in month of September in Kerala. That is Onam. With it's an integrated activity. They worship the deity, they worship the sea, they worship the sacred grove. So that interconnected in environmental becomes very important. And when you have a loss, that spirituality is impacted. So we need to be taking care of health. We need to be taking care of the environmental health, so that this human solace which they get from the nature is continued, and the healthy environment also gives a healthy spiritual to the communities and to the human being which is connected. I have a exhibition happening at my place, where hundred of healers have come from that. Uh, Around 18 province of India, and they are displaying their herbal species which they have collected, and that acts as a health solving problem. Now, if these species are lost, they have a religious connect, they have a health connect with these species. So, in community, healing is very not only the disease; it is the mind also. So, in the communities in India, you treat the whole body. It is arogya. making your body free from diseases, so all kind of mental and health diseases. So these communities, when they bring these elements, and we were discussing with them, we found that it's so intricately connected with each element of nature. So I can say they have around 15 to 20 species which they have got from the forest, and they are using it for the various elements, maybe their treatment, maybe mental happiness, maybe rituals. So that becomes a very crucial element. We need to keep our healthy forests, we need to keep our healthy rivers, we need to keep our mountains healthy, so that this whole environment and spirituality helps us in dealing it. The causes which now climate change is giving to the Himalayan region, which was called a Devbhumi, sometimes is create a disaster and fear among them. So there has to be interventions where we need to solve these problems and try to bring back the nature to in such a way that whatever we have been dependent on it helps us. So very briefly I tried to share with you, and Vikrant, if there are some questions I can take on, or you want some other elements, I'll add up to it. Dr. Vikrant, can I come up?
Sir, namaste. I think what you mentioned was very important. And as you rightly said, that we used to take permission from nature before using the nature. And when in turn we stopped doing it, then this whole concept of environmental justice became important. Thank you for invoking that thought that forests are sacred. And you also mentioned about Narmada Parikrama. And we will be very happy that if some of those healers which you mentioned are there, which who have displayed their practices in your organization from 18 provinces of the country, if they also come to Ujjain on 14th, 15th, and 16th of February, so that whole world can be benefited, it will be really great. You also mentioned what Arogya is, freedom from all the diseases. When body is free from diseases and we become a part of the nature, then the peace prevails all the places. We are deeply in gratitude, sir, that you took out time for us. And I'm sure the message connected with nature which you gave will reach to all our audience, and people will be more sensitive towards nature, its conservation, protection, and its development. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
On behalf of
Dr.
United
Vikrant.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Mr. Amitabh Pandey for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much. In a fast-paced digital age, mindfulness in education provides a crucial anchor for students nurturing peaceful minds. As the technology accelerates distractions, mindfulness practices help students focus, reduce the stress, and cultivate emotional resilience. By promoting inner calm and awareness, mindfulness equips students with the tools to navigate the digital world thoroughly, leading to more balanced, peaceful life. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's discuss in the panel discussion on the topic mindfulness in education, nurturing peaceful minds in a digital age. Dr. Ashish Garekar, who is Professor and Dean in Faculty of Management, MAT Mauritius. He is teaching at higher education level since the last 22 years. His area of interest in research is industry and education. He strongly believes in research-based teaching learning and finds no substitution of this. He has been a successful consultant trainer and mentor to corporate leaders. He has been on the editorial board as well as reviewers board of the reputed international journals. He has published more than 40 research papers in international journals and conferences. Under his profound leadership as an academic head, dean and head of department, he has delivered the academic excellence. He has also designed and implemented an innovative pedagogy to make the subject knowledge interesting and meaningful in the real-world context. By the virtue of his education, qualification and innovative thinking, he is highly appreciated for his leadership role as an administrator and professor in higher education arena. We are pleased to introduce Mr. Venkat Shriramulu, a distinguished technology specialist in financial markets and a cherished member of Project Surf USA. With over 7 years of dedication to meditative practices, he has played a crucial role in advancing the group's mission for promoting spiritual knowledge and holistic wellness. His expertise and commitment to finding balance and guiding peers reflect his profound understanding of both technology and spirituality. His contributions are invaluable, merging his professional acumen with a deep commitment to personal and collective well-being. His efforts continue to inspire and uplift those around him. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Venkat.
I feel great pleasure in introducing Mr. Gaston Bacani, who is sharing his views on the topic Feeling Technology, Dance to Life. Gaston was born in Argentina and living in Berlin for 20 years. He has studied from University of Católica, Argentina. He has his expertise in the mastering of emotional integration and creator of the Feeling Technology to transform your uncomfortable emotions into inner power. His project, Sharing Clarity, has been shared in 12 countries. Gaston has worked on his physical body to increase his level of energy and new pranic level. He has participated in 3 half marathons, 2 Olympic triathlons, and practiced acrobatics. He also received 5 golden badges from the German Olympic Association. He shares his personal experience around the world in Spanish, German, Italian, and English. Transform life through emotions. So now, dear friends, let's welcome Gaston Bacani.
Dr. Gaurang Joshi, an international Ayurveda physician and expert Ayurveda skin specialist. He is director in Atharva Multi-Speciality Ayurveda Hospital, Cancer Research Center, and president of International Cirrhosis Foundation. He is also director in International School of Ayurveda, Columbia, and adjunct faculty, Hindu University of America, USA. Dr. Joshi is an international blog writer for many international websites. He has presented many papers in national and international conferences on dermatology and oncology research. He was invited by many international universities as a guest speaker like University of Indonesia, University of Tel Aviv, Israel, Global Cancer Summit 2015 at Bangalore, and many others. He was awarded with Excellent Service Award in 2017 by Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad, Ayush Kamal Bhushan Award for Excellence in Ayurveda Dermatology by Trinity Group, and Ministry of Ayush Gujarat, Healers of India Award by Network 18 CNBC and Apollo Hospital and New Delhi for outstanding contribution in rural India healthcare. Today's panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. Vikrant Singh Tober, convener United Consciousness. Dr. Tomer is an acknowledged trainer, academician, scholar, writer, and a management consultant. He's a freelance trainer and served the cabinet ministers of state, MLAs, police officers, and tycoons of the business world. His aim and objective is universal brotherhood and happiness through harmonizing the knowledge from the ancient scriptures into our lives. So I welcome all our guests for panel discussion.
Namaste, namaste. We acknowledge your presence, our friend Gastonji. Namaste. We acknowledge your presence, Professor Ashish ji from Mauritius. Namaste. Gaurang Joshi ji, namaste. And our dear friend Venkat ji, namaste. And audience watching us from different parts of the world, our regards and respect to you also. Here we have an esteemed panel and we are about to begin our discussion on the topic Mindfulness in Education, Nurturing Peaceful Minds in a Digital Age. So, world is going through a different time and we are living in the times of Gen Z, times where information explosion is many more times more than ever before. And that has certainly changed the dynamics how we are living. Ashish ji, you are a professor. You have been dealing with the students day and night. So what changes you see in the students after when we say Gen Z after this digital age and over explosion of information, what changes you see? What are the new challenges students are facing today?
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me this platform. An honor to be on the panel, especially with the esteemed guests on the panel. Well, having associated with this movement for years now, and then working about 3 decades in higher education sector, I'm of a profound belief that there is a massive changes. And these changes on one hand are for good. On the other hand, definitely they needs to be cut to the size. On a pretext of being a techie or being Gen Z, we cannot allow the degradation and deterioration of our morals, our ethics, and yes, the human values. And my understanding is somehow there is a damage being caused on this pretext of growth, which, if not controlled, whether it is AI guided or it is Industry 4 and 5 guided technological developments, if these are not streamlined, I see a danger and a disaster just next door. Now, my point here is I have been teaching to the diploma students, then engineering, then post graduation, now doctoral students. There is seemingly a very derogatory rat race. Everyone just wants to achieve the prosperity in terms of the materialistic growth, hook or crook. Gone are the days when we were been systematically guided to achieve our life goals. Now, there is nothing like a system. There is only one thing exists is overpower whoever is in front of you. And again, the damage is this word crook, which is ultimately keeping miles our morals and our values and leading us to that unknown danger. When I say this, I'm experiencing this in my classroom on a day-to-day basis. And all the classrooms, I mean, I'm talking about right from diploma
Thank
to
you.
the
Thank
post
you.
to the doctoral and likewise.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Ashish ji mentioned about how morality, values, purpose of life, and tendency of overpowering each other. These are the areas where degradation is happening, and maybe they are more tech savvy and material growth they are more concerned with. So these are few features of the Gen Z Ashish ji just now mentioned to us. We have Gaston ji also who work with youth. Gaston ji, my question to you would be the same. You come from a different part of the world, Latin America. What are your observations? You are a world traveler. What is happening to Gen Z, and what kind of changes you are seeing in this digital age?
Well, thank you very much for the invitation. And
May I request all the guests that if you can be brief in your answer, we'll have many rounds of discussions.
Yes,
Yes.
very good. Thank you, Bikranji. The most important thing that I'm seeing is that because we are specialized on the emotions, and that the teenagers and young people, that it's for all of us, but then all the needs of attention, recognition, being connected, being someone who needs love, they start to utilize the technology and to get likes and to get all these things. And what they don't realize is that the algorithm that it is created, they are manipulating them. So my invitation today here in this panel for all of you is that we are working here in France at the moment and with teenagers, and we are giving them the tools, the fielding technology. They can learn how to discover their own needs on the personal development. They can discover how they can work with emotions, sadness, or I feel alone, or I feel not good enough, or all these competition things. And instead of trying to get it from the cell phone, they start to work on the physical body with breath, with understanding of the subconscious. The big problem is that we are talking about a lot of things, but we don't know ourselves. We don't know our subconscious. And in our subconscious, we have mental structures that activate our emotions. That's why our projects with this feeling technologies give them a new tool to work on the emotions, to understand, and not be so attached to the digital.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Gastonji mentioned about attention, need of attention, need of recognition, need of to connect, and need of love. When it's not gratified, they switch to the technology, and that due to algorithm of the technical platforms, they become victim to it at times. Venkatji, you have been a practitioner of meditation. As we heard in your introduction, you follow Vedanta. You are a student of Vedanta. So you know Zenzi also, and you come from a different generation and you are exposed to Vedanta. How come mindfulness practices? Is there any antidote mindfulness practices can provide to the challenges which are just now discussed over here?
Thank you, Vikramji. Thank you for the opportunity. It's always a pleasure to meet you. I'll be brief. I was thinking what I should really speak in this panel since yesterday. And then I came to this realization I should speak about what is my take on mindfulness, right? Especially in the young generation, the Gen Z generation, right? So we talk about kids getting off track, getting consumed in digital world, and not realizing how their life is actually going on. And if you really deeply look into what is really happening, it's about habits. There are some good habits that one holds, and then there are some bad habits that one holds. So essentially, any advices that anyone is given is, hey, nurture your good habits, get rid of your bad habits, right? But then everybody knows that they need to work on that, but then they are consumed in the digital world. So how you can get them on that right track is the mindfulness. I think the generation, the younger kids who can practice the mindfulness would be able to be aware at any point in time. Even if they lose control, they get hold quickly, and then they become aware. And then secondly, they get the motivation and strength to cultivate the good habits, get rid of the bad habits, right? That's, I believe it's not just for kids, it's for adults, for anyone, any human beings, I believe. So I'll hand this over to you.
So nice. Venkatji mentioned that mindfulness, he mentioned it very simply, cultivating what is good and refraining from what is not good and being mindful about it. It is the essence of mindfulness. Very profound, and I agree. It applies well on everybody. We have our friend Gaurang Joshi ji from India. Gaurang Joshi ji, many parts of the world, even cannabis, even some ecstasy drugs are now more prevalent. If you are feeling sad, upset, take a pill, you'll be happy, chill pill for 6 hours. And then again, you are feeling down. What Ayurveda talks about it, when you get dependent on such things, then what happens?
Namaste Vikramji, thanks for inviting me for this great discussion. As you know, I am a practitioner of Ayurveda, and you know, there is a definition of health in Ayurveda. There is a sloka, Sama dosha samagnisa stama dhatu malakriya. This is the physical body. This definition about physical health. But you know, there is one more definition in this sloka. Prasanna atmendriya mana means you must have a prasanna atma, your soul, mind and body, right? So Ayurveda already emphasized the happiness, mindfulness practices. Yesterday, I just went to one video of one of the renowned cardiologists of India, and I just came to know they have done one study. You know, there are lots of lifestyle disorders increasing worldwide. And in India, youngsters are getting affected or they are dying with the heart attacks. So they have made one research, and you know, there will be there are some very harsh truth that came out. They have done some genomic study, the study of the hormones, right? And they found this from 15 to 25 years Gen Z youngsters, right? And they noticed that their chromosome, those studies they have done, they found that those though they are just 18 to 25 years old, their chromosomes indicating they are getting older of 60 to 80 years. And why it is so? The simple thing is that it's stress. The stress is generating due to the overuses of this all these devices what we are in. We can say it's a gadgets from morning to go to bed. We are depending all the time on the gadgets, from mobile to laptop to all each and every gadget, and this definitely having a very adverse side effects in our day-to-day life, and increasing lots of lifestyle disorders. And I am particularly practitioner of Ayurveda, so I'm daily interacting with the people, because we are having a lot of autoimmune disease also, lifestyle disorders also. So I need to advise him to go for mindful practices daily to overcome these misuses of all this technology-driven era.
Thank you, Dr. Joshi. You mentioned about many researches which are talking about how in the teens or in the young age, even there are some changes in chromosomes that are being seen, which is a matter of concern. And I think more such researches will be published or must be already getting published. Professor Gadekar is from Mauritius. You mentioned about degradation in moral values, and people don't have their purpose of life. Can mindfulness, meditation, spiritual teachings help these people to identify their purpose of life?
Very well. I mean, I am not just of a view, but having practiced it and also having done some experiments in my different classrooms, I can tell you, yes, it is the best way to bring the concentration and the focus area in the limelight. I'll tell you, in my doctoral classes, we instead of starting a class directly, the first just 2 minutes, we ask the people to close their eyes and just focus on a single point. That was one, and we did it otherwise also. And I can tell you, I had the fabulous results. People really said the topic taught on that specific day was awesome. Whereas the topic was not new, the teaching methodology, everything was as usual. The only change was giving them an approach, and that too a focused approach, which is the ultimate base of our mindfulness. So yes, I would say that that is a perfect remedy for the day.
Thank you. I'm sure, Professor Ashish, that people watching here will listen to this point you mentioned very clearly, that when they were mindful, when they were in the meditative minds, whatever they were taught, they had greater focus and it has greater impact on that. That's profound. Gaston, you were talking about you use feeling technology so that they can process their emotions. Yes, the kind of generation Gen Z has and kind of challenges they have, their parents both are working, and majority of the working parents, they live in guilt that they are not giving enough time to the kids. And so many of the people, they keep talking about kids, and we say don't talk about kids, talk to kids, but they don't have time to talking to kids. And when they have time, kids don't have time to talk to them. So how do you help them to process it? You may need to unmute.
Thank you. So for me, what is important is that when I talk with the teenagers and young people, I say, have the courage to feel your emotions. Don't escape. Don't utilize social media to escape, to entertain myself and be there. So for me, technology is very good. We are working also in an app to present all the feeling technology. So the app can help you to understand where is the emotion in your body, how you can integrate in the body. So technology is good. The problem is this social media, when I utilize it to escape for not feeling my emotions. So I invite young people or everybody, instead of trying to escape, utilize the mindfulness, if you would like, to understand where it is in the body, this uncomfort, this contraction, where is the pain in the body. And one practical thing that I would like to leave also here and to share is that start practicing to do some detox of social media, detox of cell phone. So you can say to yourself, I'm going to be with a cell phone till 9 p.m. and then I'm going to cut my cell phone. I'm going to have 1 hour of silence or being in the nature or being outside, and I'm going to feel my body. When I start to feel my body and I start to breathe, we give the body the possibility to recalibrate electromagnetically. So it is very important. And with this, we are not depending anymore on the social media, or we are buying what we are needing. So we are master of our electromagnetic field. We are master of our spirit, and we can incarnate our spirit for resonating in this physical body. And this is the whole what we would like to do. And we are creating a community of conscious feelers, people that they don't need to escape from emotion, so they can be present for themselves and then to open to embrace other people with their own emotions.
That's indeed profound, Gastonji. You suggested for a digital tapas, digital detox, which was so nice. And you mentioned very profound thing that for many people, social media is an escape, because they don't want to face as Swami Vivekananda was once said, face the brutes, face the difficult things in life, but they don't want to face. So what are difficult things? At times, what I'm finding is good is difficult also. And probably this is one of the challenge generations has been seeing. Our generation, generations to come also. Venkatji, you said that nurture what is good and avoid what is wrong. And in Mahabharata, it is said, Janami dharma nachme pravattihi, Janami adharma nachme nivrattihi. I know what is right, but still I can't go towards it. I know what is wrong, but still I can't refrain myself from it. Can you suggest, can you help me in this?
You know, I have two teenagers, 17 and 15. Lately, I hear a lot about them when we do get-togethers with friends. They come to me or my wife and ask, what is that you do or what is that you have done that your kids are different? It's not just in my household. I have peers, teammates at work, and I have project managers and leaders at work that I interact with. They kind of come up to me and then ask about, hey, what is that you do that makes these people stick around this long with you? Why they stand up when there is a fire the way they do? Why can't the people in my team do the same? So my answer to both of these people is, look, if the kid is already consumed, you go and tell the kid, stop using the phone. You think there is going to be any merit or any value out of that conversation? Zero, right? It's how you go about it as a parent, as a friend, as a leader, right? You have got to show them some carrots. And the carrots are nothing but materialistic. It starts there. I think that the mistake that I observe that the people tend to do is you scare them by starting off with, spirituality, and then they get scared of you. Like the way I have done around me, wherever I go, is I start with their material goals. I help them how to make smaller progress. And then I let them experience themselves. There is no way any teacher can teach a kid other than that individual himself or herself, right? When they start to realize the impact of mindfulness, they're like, oh my God, hold on a second. I'm able to pass this exam. I'm able to face this sports game. Then they themselves kind of start to walk on this path. I know I took more time, but my point is start with the carrot, start with the materialistic goal achievement, and then let them realize and let them walk their path. To me, that's the way I feel, at least, we could get these generations to walk on this path.
That's very profound of you, Venkatji. You mentioned that identify their goals and then show them a path. How can they go towards that goal, and how can mindfulness can help them to achieve their own materialistic or any kind of goals they make, and that way they themselves will refrain instead of you telling them time and again. Thank you very much. That is very useful of for the people who are watching us. Dr. Gorangji, you mentioned about prasanna atmendriya manaha, but manaha is not prasanna on this planet. Mind is not happy. Suicide is the second biggest cause of death for the people aged between 15 to 24. It means mind on the planet is not happy. Any suggestions from Ayurveda how to get that prasanna manaha?
Very interesting question, Dr. Vikramji. You know, in day-to-day my practice, even before, just 1 hour before to this talk, I had one video consultation with one of my patients who was suffering from anxiety and depression. You know, all the time, in day-to-day my clinical practices, maximum patients, or I can say 90 to 95% of my patients, they are coming with psychosomatic disorders. And Ayurveda says, you need to control your mind. Otherwise, if your mind is controlling your body, then it is the causative factors for all of the diseases, right? So all the time I am emphasizing my patients to incorporate mindfulness practices like pranayam, meditation, go to the nature, listen some good music. Even this Gaston GS already emphasized all the digital detox, that I also emphasize on digital detox. At least take a mindfulness break during your daily day-to-day work. And I'm also emphasizing incorporating mindfulness in education. If universities and schools can include this practices of meditation, pranayam in that curriculum, and if they can practice this before starting the class or at the end of the class, then that will definitely help to reduce the stress, and that definitely can give them positive outcome, and it can prevent one person who is feeble with the mind, we can prevent lots of suicide. You know, patient with the psoriasis all the time thinking to get rid of psoriasis, and for that negative thoughts he always tried to attempt to go for the suicide. And I have saved lots of people's life with the practice of mindfulness by just asking them to practice mindfulness practice of meditation, pranayam.
Thank you, Gaurang, Dr. Gaurang. And you rightly mentioned that it can be brought into the curriculum, more formalized it, because at the age when people want to focus on becoming, probably some part of should be taught how of their own being also, and which is the specialization of Mr. Gaston. Gastonji, you were telling us about telling them where is the pain in the body and connect with the pain. Would you like to speak further about it? Okay, fine. If I have pain here, then what?
No, the most important thing is before I go to the social media is if I feel alone, if I feel that my girlfriend, I have some problem with my boyfriend, so I need to understand what's going on. And I invite people always to say, listen your smart body. This is a smartphone because you have a lot of apps and you get a lot of information. And I invite people with the feeling technology, utilize the smart body, because your body gives you much more information as you think. If you utilize your body only to put the clothes and to wash yourself and to put it beautiful, it's not enough. There is much more information. So learning to recognize the map of the contractions in the body helps you to dive in the subconscious. When you dive in the subconscious, you can, as we were listening right now, we can disarm, detach the thoughts that we have in the subconscious, and the physical body start to recalibrate it itself. There is a feeling technology exists, and biological technology in all of us. Our spirit know that. We just need to be humble. We just need to be courage to feel in the body, utilizing the mindfulness and the pranayama and all this breathing. Of course, we breathe, we anchor in the earth, and we read the body. And the most beautiful thing that I have a lot of experience in different cultures is that it doesn't matter from where you come from. It doesn't matter which language, which religious you are. All of us, we feel our emotions in the same places, like in the throat, like in the chest, like in the stomach. And if we learn this feeling technology that all of us we have already, we allow the biological system to recalibrate, and life can.
So kind of you. Thank you very much. He said that from smartphone shift to the smart body, listen to the body the way you listen to your phone. When phone has some bug, it starts malfunctioning. When body and subconscious has some bug, it reflects on the body itself. Very nice. And I saw Professor Ashish, you were clapping when Dr. Gaurang was saying it should be brought into educational curriculum. Would like you to tell us something. How can academicians, professors contribute in bringing this mindfulness into the academic environment?
Thank you very much, Dr. Gaurangji. You have hit the bullseye. And I tell you, all the experimentations and evidence collection process is over now. It's time to act. Whether this action is sponsored by the regulators and the government bodies, or maybe suo moto by the professors like me, but somewhere we have to start. And I tell you, I mean, borrowing the inspiration from the elite speakers on board and as well as this United Conscious movement, I have made a reference many a times in my classroom that you just try it once, I bet on. Next time onwards, you yourself will force me to put 5 minutes specially for this exercise. And it's happening. So now how to regularize it and bring it into the practice probably maybe the issues that is beyond the scope of this panel. But I can tell you the action has started. Only to generalize it and magnify it probably is going to be the time. I mean, it's if it is going to start or not, that question is asked. That question is answered. Now, how well it is going to be progress, that's a matter of time.
Perfect, Professor Ashish. It reminds me of a research conducted on youth substance abuse. As you said, that I go in the class and say, try it once. And this is what happens with substance abuse also. Kids and colleagues tell each other, try it once. When you try it once, nothing happens, but give it a try. And the research says that people think by trying substance once, it has no wrong impact, which is a myth. But then, as you rightly said, then things get generalized. So good habits also get generalized, same as the wrong habits get generalized. But Venkatji, there is a lot of peer pressure. I appear more smart, more more happening if I take substances, if I smoke, if I'm more acceptability, as Gastonji said. I want to gain attention. So there are many wrong practices. If I insult you, I'm more happening. So how to tell Gen Z about it, to be mindful about these areas, peer pressure I'm talking about. How to do
Again, in that moment, the example that you just laid out, I would still talk about the carrot. If you go tell them anything out of the carrot, they won't even listen to you. It won't even get into the system. You tell them you want to be more famous, you want to be able to control that moment, that the other person who's able to become famous by consuming the not so great stuff out there. Instead, you give the mindfulness to this kid. You tell them, you keep trying this and you would be able to see how famous you become. Now look, I think clearly it is not a pill, right? It takes time. So this is where I think the professors, they spoke about the regularization of such toolings and practices in our colleges and schools and in corporations as well. We are talking about younger kids here, but it applies. I say that in the corporations because what happens is the so-called parents work in these corporations. They bring themselves back into these homes where these kids are at, right? It's a circular reaction. I think this needs to be regularized across the board. But I'm so hopeful, like, hearing from the professors on this panel here, like how they have taken the challenge on their hand. And I remind myself of it all the time. At times I do get depressed. What is this small drop in the ocean that I do? What kind of a difference is it going to make? I question myself, but I quickly recover because I am aware. I'm like, imagine so many drops out there brings together, and then there is going to be a wave. And then this united consciousness that Vikramji, you and the team are championing, it's actually on the same lines, isn't it? It is getting this message across to so many individuals, and it's spreading, isn't it? So I would like to say I have a lot of hope for this
Yes.
generation and the next generation. We just need to continue to stay at it.
Thank you. Thank you. Venkatji. Venkatji said, know the carrot, don't leave the carrot. Once you know what they want to do, take them on the path and they will do everything, whatever comes in between. Never underestimate their power to achieve. So that's profound. Gaurang, Dr. Gaurangji, one thing what you answered last time stuck in my mind, and I want you to be very quickly telling me this, that you said that there are psychosomatic disorders. How do I identify, looking at any Gen Z, that the Gen Z needs help? I need to talk to him about it. Are there some symptoms which will help me to decode, no, I should approach, talk?
Right now, maximum Gen Z, because of this excessive use of digital devices, and they are having lots of stress in their lives. Even I notice lots of youngsters, they are suffering from insomnia, anxiety, depression, a fear factor. Only we need to guide them how to minimize the use, what the content they are using on the social media or on the digital devices. We require mindfulness content what they are using. We need to minimize, we need to advise them to have a mindfulness break during their sessions, because right now they are also learning the classes online, or sometimes even in the classroom they are using all these digital tools. So I want to emphasize that there should be a mindfulness practice even in the school, even on the online platform before starting the class. We need to emphasize, we need to explain them the use of this technology very wisely, and the content of these digital tools are very important. And also we need to explain them the importance of stress hormones and how to minimize the stress hormones. And for that, the only way, being a physician, because I'm practicing since last 30 years, in daily, each and every patient, I'm guiding them to do mindfulness practice of pranayama, meditation, and the sattvic diet, food. As far as Ayurveda is concerned, food is also one of the important factor. And this Gen Z, they don't have any control on consuming the food, because lots of fast food, junk food, they are eating all the time. They are all the time drinking beverages. So the food is your medicine. So also we need to emphasize to take sattvic food. The sattvic food is very important. So these are the things: mindfulness practice.
Thank you
and
very
sattvic
much.
food.
Yes. Dr. Gaurangji, thank you very much for mentioning the importance of the food also in mental well-being, overall well-being. Dear friends watching us from different parts of the world, we had this beautiful discussion. We started with Professor Ashish mentioning that the world today we are living is going high in technology and materialism, but morality, values, identifying the purpose of life, and these are the things which need special attention. People wants to overpower each other, and for that Ashiji mentioned that I have taught my students in my class, I start my class with 2 minutes of mindfulness, and he says that when you start doing this, then he found very good results. People become more focused and they can connect with the topic better. And Ashiji said those discussions are old discussions, whether mindfulness should be introduced, is it good or not. It's already been proven. The time is to act. Government will make regulations, let government do their own stuff, but what we can do is sumoto, try it once. And once you start trying it, then it will be generalized and then it will be magnified in your life. Gastonji is a practitioner, mentioned that people they feel lack of attention, recognition, connect, and love, and these needs make them shift towards technology, social media, and the social media algorithm makes them victim. So the best method is never take escape of the technology. He said, go for feeling technology, hold on, don't escape. Face the brutes, face the problems, face the difficult problems of your life. Take detox of social media, technical tapas, and face your emotions. Feel where you are feeling that pain, where those emotions are getting manifested, because he said that your body is also a smart body. Probably it's the most smartest device you could ever have. So whether body has feeling some construction and contraction, any part, that will help you to understand what your subconscious wants to tell you. And from there, the healing begins. He profoundly said, spirit knows it all. You trust your spirit, be conscious about it, then you will automatically, it will start healing you. First, you need to start addressing it. Venkatji defined mindfulness in very simple terms. Nurturing what is good, avoiding what is wrong is mindfulness. And he said that if you want your kids to stand up, then the one thing is know their carrot. What is their purpose of life? Even if it is materialistic, that is okay. It's their age. Kama, Artha, Dharma, Moksha. It's their Purushartha age that they want to do something materialistic also, which is perfectly fine. But once you know their path, then put mindfulness as an instrument towards achieving that path. They will certainly pick it. And anyways, if you are a parent, if you are a teacher, if you are a friend, you need to know the carrot of your friend or your buddy or anybody else that will help you to connect. And how to know the carrot? Talk to them, he said. And once you understand about it, then put mindfulness as a technique and give examples of success. And then he said, even if you start doing it, even if you do a drop, a small drop will make a difference. Drop by drop, whole ocean will come. An ocean of peace, ocean of mindfulness will automatically appear first in your life, then family and the society around. Gaurang Joshi ji mentioned that physical health is must, but Ayurveda says prasanna atmendriya manaha. This is what is the purpose of life, that you should be happy from within yourself. And he said that lifestyle disorders are creeping up. He suggested a genome study that even these disorders sink so deep. For 15 to 25 years age, the study says even it has impacted the chromosomes also. People appear more older mentally, physically. Both anxiety has psychosomatic impact also. Psychosomatic disorders, he suggested pranayama, go in the nature, follow music, take mindful breaks. He profoundly mentioned that the curriculum in schools and colleges should have mindfulness. When we are talking a lot about becoming, let's start talking something about being also. It will help you. And he said, when you have started helping yourself, identify these simple symptoms. If you find people getting irritated very soon, having insomnia, anxiety, fear, know that if these symptoms persist, know that people need help. And he said, start with your food also, because sattvic food leads to sattvic manas. I'm sure, friends, that people who are watching us from different parts of the world, we had different dimensions of the same discussion, how mindfulness can contribute in the life of Gen Z, making our next generation, the generations to come, a better human beings than us, more happy than us, more prosperous than us. May peace be in all, around all on the planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm delighted to present our guest, Ms. Denise Escoto. She has represented law firms, government, business, non-profit, NGOs, and individual clients. She is admitted to practice law in the courts of the states of New York and the District of Columbia, and advises clients on a wide range of matters from legal analysis to advocacy strategy, policy development, conflict resolutions, the United Nations system, and cross-culture cooperation. She is known for her thought leadership in communicating complex concepts easily through her dynamic presentations. As a trial specialist, handling cases related to civil rights, labor and employment laws, and negligence. She started a career as an attorney in the office of the Cooperation Council of the City of New York. She has legal skills, and management background, served the United Nations Department for Economic and Social Affairs. Her responsibilities including acting as a liaison with UN Secretariat Department, UN specialized agencies, government and all sectors of civil society. She has taught international human rights and the courses in the rule of law as an adjunct faculty at Rampo College in New Jersey. She has served as a judge of the prestigious Sept International Law Moot Court competition, where she critiqued international law students' written memorials and oral arguments. She's also been involved in organizing and speaking at many conferences and programs in the US, China, Hungary, India, Italy, South Africa, Taiwan, and Thailand. She holds a Bachelor's of Fine Arts and a Master of Arts. Her artwork has been exhibited in groups shows at the Art Student League in New York City. She is a recipient of many honors and awards. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Ms. Denise Scotto.
Most welcome, Denise. It is your own organization. We have worked before so many times, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you on platform of United Consciousness, and whole platform is yours. We are eager to listen from you about human rights and spiritual equality, advocating for justice through love. Stage is yours.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be with you, Vikranti, and to continue the work that we have been doing. I am so honored to be with so many esteemed guests and to have this rich conference where we can really speak to our hearts. Because when we talk about the topics that everyone has been talking about, it comes back to a few different things. In my opinion, it comes back to the values that we hold. The values, the ethics, the morals that we live by. And that really comes back to our true nature and who we are and what that means. And that is that we are people who are having an experience that is beyond the physical body, where we are connected to that divine creator of one who creates everything around us and everything. From nature to our resources, to our animal companions, and to understanding that we play an important part in the cosmos and in the planet, our planet Earth, in our country, in our societies, and in our own families, and ultimately in our own life. When we talk about human rights, for me, the underpinning of human rights is about human dignity, that each and every person, as we know from some of the UN documents that are over 75 years old, for example, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights says that we are born as humans free and equal in dignity and in rights. This is really a very profound statement that you and I, no matter what language we speak, what religion we may practice, what kind of educational background we have, what kind of employment situation, whether we're employed, we're self-employed, whether we're working part-time, whether we're working in an informal economy, whether we're not working for whatever reason, whether we're caretaking, when we're working to give care to younger people, to older family members, to disabled members of our societies. Whatever that looks like, we are all the same in terms of being part of the human family and part of our cosmos. And it goes back to this concept of dignity and how we are, because of our very beingness, we are worthy of living life and of growing to our best potentiality. Now, at the same time, my understanding of having personal responsibility is about also working through life, living through life, being one with everyone and everything. And what does that look like? That goes back to values again. And to me, those are values that we can find in many world religions. We can find them in ethical principles. We can find them in the Charter of the United Nations and in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And some of these are the underlying values of yoga. I would agree that all of them are part of the underlying values of yoga and the beautiful ancient philosophy that has been handed down for years and years and years. And we know that yoga means union. And one of the greatest values that we can live and try to live is the value of unity, of being in unity with each and every person on this planet and each and everything, to acknowledge that we come from the same creative source, that source of life, the source that is the ultimate creative aspect of everyone and everything. So some of these values that I'm talking about are spiritual values. So unity, dignity, as I've already talked about, respect for all life, respect for someone who has a different opinion from you. We may not agree about things. I may think very differently than you do, based on our experiences, based on our education, based on our understanding of language and the way we speak. But if we can agree to disagree, we can be respectful of one another. We can value one another. And this value is about including one another and saying, yes, we may have disagreements, but we're part of the human family and we all belong. And we may have differences of opinions and see things differently. But at the end of the day, I'm going to accept that person, or I'm going to, in some cases, tolerate that person or those beliefs or those understandings because I value and respect the dignity and the unity that we share as one human family. Another way to look at things also is, how can I be living these values of my faith or the values that I believe of a philosophy or a code of ethics that I live by? Because there are many people who may not have a particular religion. People say, I'm a spiritual person. You know, I believe in the golden rule. I believe treat others as I want to be treated. Or, you know, I don't believe, I've had a lot from my upbringing, I don't believe in a particular religion, but I believe in love and I believe in kindness and I believe in the will to do good, right? That there is goodness in the world and I can do good. So all of these things, in my opinion, is about having these underlying values that we as human beings can walk through and live through and be each and every moment and each and every day. And when we talk about this, it really is so linked to peace, because to me, it's about how can we be compassionate? How can we be kind? And that's about being peaceful. It's not about being violent. It's not about being aggressive. It's not about being competitive. It's being collaborative. And again, it's about being joining together this unity and really about being kind. And I think sometimes this is what's really missing, that opportunity to be kind. So peace is a very big thing. We know that the United Nations, one of its mandates is to secure peace and human security. And I would go so far as to say also promoting peace and a culture of peace and a culture of nonviolence. Just the other day, 21 September, we celebrated World Peace Day, which the UN passed a resolution over 40 years ago, marking Peace Day, something for all communities around the world to gather together. And 20 years ago, they modified or changed that resolution, and they actually added in that resolution for everyone to celebrate Peace Day by taking one moment of silence to acknowledge those people who are living in the state of armed conflict or in places of war. And a lot of us broaden that. There's so much suffering in this world today, be it in one way or another. It could be someone who's a victim of human trafficking. It could be someone who's a victim of domestic violence. It could be someone who has no food and is living in poverty and is trying to figure out, how can I get food for my young kids? There are so many ways that people are suffering. And even in our own daily life, we have our own ways of feeling that we're suffering and that we're in pain, or we're feeling hurt, or we see our family members feeling hurt. So if we take this minute of silence, we can join with our whole human family around the world in solidarity, and we can anchor peace and healing. And that is really the beauty, I think, of the International Day of Peace. Everyone can find the way to celebrate that. So when we talk about human rights and spiritual values, to me, it's a much broader concept. It's about how can we be the change that we want to see in the world, acknowledging that we're powerful beings. We're powerful because we have the capacity to use our reason, to use our conscience, to use our thoughts to create the kind of world that we want, and then to take action. I loved hearing the panel who were speaking before me, because part of that really resonated with me. And it was about how people sometimes are so alone and isolated. If there is a sense of belonging, we become even more powerful. If we really feel that we belong to the human family, or that we're part of something greater, then we really feel that we can contribute and that we make a difference. And no matter what we do, if we take some action, and if we take action together, we can be such positive forces for change in the world. And that's about protecting each and every one of us. And that's about protecting and safeguarding our human rights. What are some human rights? I think that a lot of them go on human needs. The right for universal education, the right for universal health care, to get medical treatment, to get medical diagnoses, to be able to have that kind of treatment so that we can become well again, or we can prevent certain diseases from coming, to have shelter, to have a house, to feel secure in that place, to feel that no one is going to come, break down the door, and all of a sudden something bad is going to happen. We're talking about also education and primary education, because we know that education is such a huge change maker in so many people's lives. I know for me, both of my sets of parents come from other countries than the United States. Having the education that I've had and the value that my family placed on education has made all the difference in the world, not only to me, but to my extended family as well. So even the education of peace education, or the education of understanding the values that we have as one family and the values of human rights and fundamental freedoms, is so important. I believe in the concept of universal responsibility. We may have human rights, but we also have responsibility as individuals. I truly feel that I have a responsibility to take care of my family, my older mom, the animals that I have that are walking the life with me, my animal companions, that we have a responsibility greater than that, beyond my family, in my community, in my society. I do believe that I'm not just a being here where I live, but more of a planetary being. And that what I think and what I do matters, because in the greater scheme of the cosmos, each and every intention and every action is counted. And each and every action that we have toward being peaceful, being toward being more kind, anything that is being toward helping the greater good, I believe, is gathered with all of those who are doing that, who are being more positive, to really make a change, to anchor more peace, more healing, and to create a better world that we all so much really want. You know, I've come across people in my work when I was working as a staff person in the UN who I did not agree with in their approach or their way to create a better world. Some of them are considered non-state actors or terrorist groups or part of groups that used a lot of violence. And when I had spoken with them, or when they were trying to speak with me, I was keeping an open mind to hear what they said. And I would say that 99.9% of them wanted the same things that I wanted. my family to feel well, my family to have a better life, to be able to have food, to be able to have an education, to be able to really feel powerful in the world in the sense that they could live a comfortable life and that they could also have fun and enjoy life with other people. So we have not seen the same way, the same path, but some of their intention is the same intention, because at the end of the day, we're part of the human family. I don't know if my remarks have touched you at all or have made sense, but I think that sometimes we complicate this idea of what human rights really is about. And I would say that in order to understand it, it goes back to human dignity, and it goes back to the values that the majority of us live by. So I want to just acknowledge again how all of us on this call who are involved with United Consciousness and many of the yoga groups and communities that we're involved with really are, I think, contributing to creating a better world, a more harmonious and a more nonviolent world by the thoughts that we take and by the actions that we take, even if we're just smiling at someone that we may be passing on the street, even if we just hold a door open for someone who is coming behind us. So it's these little things, I think, that really add up, and that we and I need to remind myself at times that these are powerful in and of themselves. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, or to engage in any kind of dialogue with you, Vikranti, and hope that we've been able to have a strong way for people to understand the United Nations a little bit more and what the concept of human rights is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dennis ji. I think you did absolute justice with bringing the concept of human right in simple terms to everybody. And you really mentioned that Universal Declaration of Human Rights tells us that we are born free and equal in dignity and rights. And you also mentioned about UN Charter is so much closely connected with the values of yoga. Yoga stands for union, union stands for unity, and this is what United Consciousness also stands for. Our mission statement is one consciousness, one being. We appreciate diversity, as you rightly mentioned, that you may disagree with people, but let's agree to disagree. It reminds me of what Voltaire once said, that though I may disagree with what you are saying, but I can fight till my death for your right of saying it. It is okay. So you beautifully quoted about it. You mentioned about importance of unity, dignity, respect, not only in general, but in specific for all lives, for all difference of opinions. You told the importance of being more inclusive, acceptance, and this is together what you mentioned is promoting the culture of peace, living it. And you said that a big percentage of population, growing population is increasing, who don't believe in religion, but they believe in humanity. They believe in that treat others as I want to be treated. And so it reminds me of somebody I met in France, and he said that humanity is my religion and goodness is my God. So that can be well understood. And I think what you mentioned is very important, that take one moment of silence and think about the people who are suffering in different parts of the planet. And this is what makes us human. Human have that ability to think about others, and we coexist. And you said that be the change that you want to see in the world, as Mahatma Gandhi, father of nation in India, always followed in his life. And this sense of belonging makes us more responsible. And the one of the best things about your speech I liked, you did not stop yourself at human rights. You are a very strong advocate of universal responsibilities. And I think me personally can't agree more than this, that yes, when everybody of us fulfill our responsibilities towards everybody of others, then certainly their rights will be protected. And you said that we are planetary beings. And this is what spirituality also says, that we are not human beings having spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having human experience. Dennis, what a fantastic talk. And you touched a very core subject in such simple words. It was very inspiring. We keep on coming to you to get more inspired. And thank you to always being there to guide us in this movement of united consciousness. Thank you, Dennis.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. May there be peace.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Ms. Denise Scotto for coming on to the platform of United Consciousness. I feel delighted to welcome Ms. Gina Suresh from USA. Gina got inspired by her grandfather and father in yoga asana practices 20 years ago. With the intention of spreading the goodness of yoga with others, she did yoga teachers training from Pandit Radheshyam Mishra ji. Her association with Project Self USA spiked her interest in Bhagavad Gita and Vedantic studies. Now she incorporates the teaching of Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga in Yoga Sadhana program conducted by Project Self USA. Professionally, she's working in a pharmaceutical company as a director of field force effectiveness. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Ms. Gina Suresh from USA.
Namaste, Vikrantji.
Namaste, Gina ji. Welcome to your own family, your own house, your own organization, your own platform. We all are so much looking forward to be submerged in your meditative voice and your the guided meditation you are going to take us to.
Thank you so much, Vikrantji, for inviting me to do this meditation as we celebrate the International Day of Peace. Thank you.
Perfect. So next 14 minutes are all yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Namaste from USA. My name is Gina, and I conduct yoga meditation sessions for Project Self USA here. What a wonderful day of United Consciousness that celebrates the International Day of Peace. Peace, quietude, shanti. It's something that all human beings are seeking. Not only the human beings, but all beings are seeking. India is a land of rishis, Arsha Bharadam, hence the name. The rishis have proved to us, not only told us, but proved to us that there is a way that we can attain that peace. Regardless of our caste, creed, religion, the country, it's possible. Now, when we sit, how did they learn that? They did their tapas. They did their meditation. They looked into themselves. Now, when we do the meditation, what happens to us the first time? 95% of people tell me that they get disturbed while they are doing meditation. And that is so true. We get disturbed because meditation is not something that we can learn. It's something that will happen to us if we are preparing ourselves for that journey. So as we prepare our mind, meditation will happen automatically. Now, all the process, all the preparation that we are doing to reach there, to reach that peace, to realize that ultimate peace. And that's what the rishis did. Rishis did the meditation, and then they learned that ultimate truth about themselves that gave peace to them, ultimate peace to them. So one way to do that is to learn all the scriptures and do the karma yoga. For example, Bhagavad Gita talk about doing karma yoga for getting a peace of getting a purity of mind, because if your mind is impure, you cannot sit in meditation. So to purify your mind, do the karma yoga, upasana yoga to stabilize your mind. So we are talking about all these. But if we simply learn the scriptures and if we don't practice anything for ourselves, it is an intellectual understanding. It's not going to help us experience that peace. So in order to experience that peace, we have to do our sadhana, not on a Monday every week, not on once a week, once a month, but we have to do this every single day. So how do we do the sadhana? So today I'm gonna do a meditation that's from Tantra. Tantric meditation is based on mantra. So what are these mantra? Mantras are the sound, seemingly not meaningless sounds, but they have profound way to change the mental makeup of us. So mantra, you don't even have to learn the meaning of these mantra, but they have the power to purify our mind. So even if you don't know the scriptures, even if you don't know the Mahavakya, even if you don't know intellectually any of these, but we start preparing ourselves by using this mantra as such a great power to change us, change our mind and and to be ready for that final meditation and to get that ultimate peace, as we are talking about International Day of Peace. So let's slowly get into that mantra meditation. We will use one of the mantras, Om Namah Shivaya. Before that, we will prep our body to do that mantra or meditation. Let's sit still, straighten your backbone, shoulders are relaxed. If you want, close your eyes. Hands can be placed on your knees. Now, slowly paying attention to each body part, try to relax each body part. Starting with our toes, bring your attention to your toes and relax your toes. Your feet, your ankle, your shin, the calf muscles, your knee, your thighs, your hip joint. Now, feel your entire legs are relaxed. Take a moment to feel it from your toes to the hip joint, to feel that triangle that the legs have formed if you're sitting on the floor or on a chair. Straight legs, relaxing the entire legs. Now, onto your core of the body, trunk of the body. So relax your seat. Feel the entire body weight is transferred to the ground through that seat. Relax. Relax your lower back, middle back, upper back. Relax your tummy, the chest. Relax your shoulders. So now the entire trunk, just scan it from bottom to top and relax your entire trunk region. Now relax your hands, starting with the upper arm, elbow, lower arm, your wrist, and all your fingers. Both your hands are completely relaxed. Take some time to feel both the hands completely relaxed. Now relax your neck. Feel the muscle tension melting away through the neck, through your lower back, and all the way to Mother Earth. Take a moment to relax. Now, relax your face region, starting with your chin, your lips, your nostrils, your eyes, your eyelids, eyebrows, your forehead, and the back of your head, sides of your head, and finally the crown of your head. So your entire head region is now relaxed. Keep your eyes closed. Bring a slight smile on your face. Keep that smile and fully relax, taking 3 deep breaths. Inhale deep. Exhale completely. Second one, inhale deep. Exhale completely. One more time. Inhale this time. Let the inhalation be deep and the exhalation be complete. Very nice. Your entire body is relaxed better than before. Keep the eyes closed. And now, let's slowly start the mantra meditation. The mantras have the power to change our mental makeup, to purify our mind. So seemingly meaningless words, but they have the power. So let's inhale. And while you exhale, chant slightly loud. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Now, chant mentally. Repeat. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 As the mind is going into different places, slowly bring it back to chanting it loud. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Once again, mentally chant. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Now chant 10 times without any guidance. Continue to chant 3 more times. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Continue to experience the calmness of the mind with the meditation. Now, bring your palm together. Keep your palm to your eyes and slowly open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you, Vikranji.
Thank you, Gina ji. It was very soothing, and I think this EST time zone, we are at the verge of conclusion of this 8 days continuous celebration where 250 plus experts, 100 plus countries together contributed. And this is getting culminated with your meditation. I think this is very pious. And I many times wonder, in being engrossed in meditation, how you remain mindful at the same time of the time also, because every time we work with you, you are always mindful of the time of the meditation also. That is also very profound of you. Thank you very much for being a part of the family, Gina ji.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Ms. Gina Suresh for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much. I feel excited to invite and welcome Professor Aarti Shrivastava, a distinguished academic and leader, currently heads the Department of Higher and Professional Education at the National Institute of Education Planning and Administration, Ministry of Education, New Delhi. With a doctorate from Jawaharlal Nehru University and dual master's degree in economics and education, she has built a remarkable career across premier institutes such as University of Delhi and Banaras Hindu University. Her expertise has significantly contributed to international projects with Wisconsin University, NCERT, and Rockefeller. Her influence extends globally, having collaborated with Oxford University, Harvard University, and the Australian Education Ministry, and she has undergone specialized training at IIEP UNESCO Paris. She is also on the editorial board of several renowned journals and has published extensively on employability, gender, leadership, and higher education. Her academic rigor, leadership, and commitment to advancing education make her a highly respected figure in both national and international education landscapes. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Professor Aarti Shrivastava.
Aarti ji, namaste. It was pleasant meeting you in Motihari, Bihar, and now we are talking together on this global platform. So honored that you took out time. We all are eager to listen from you about India, about the power of spiritual mentorship, guiding youth towards peaceful consciousness. Over to you for next 13 minutes. We all are eager to listen from you.
Thank you, Vikranji, for having me over, and thanks to the organization for giving me some time to share my thoughts on mentorship in spiritualism. As you all know, I am an educator, and therefore, my standpoint will be from education itself. So, I start with a Hindi quote, and I will explain it in English. Guru Gobind dou khade kak lago paye. Balihari Guru Aapne Gobind Diyo Bataye. Like, if there are two people standing in front of you, one a teacher and the other God, whom are you going to pay your respect first? So it goes on to say that you have to pay respect first to the teacher who has enlightened your mind to reach God. And therefore, teacher is more important than God himself. So, having said that, that is what the Indian ethos about teacher is. And that is exactly what we mean when we say that the importance of mentorship in education. What does the guru actually do? Guru means a teacher. So someone who is mentally aware of the responsive and is responsive to the surroundings in a very objective way, that you are aware of everything around you and your responses are discerned and nuanced to the surroundings in a very objective way, is what a spiritual leader can make you do. So I mean, how does he go about this? He goes about by first making you understand self. What is the difference between a teacher and a guru? A teacher only limits himself to the curriculum, right? The curriculum is, more of it is materialistic, but a guru goes into the untangible paths. He actually nurtures your soul. So, and what are we without the soul? Nothing. Our bodies, the soul actually embodies our own bodies, and therefore the soul is very important, and we need to nurture the soul. Why we look at the school teachers, we see that some teachers have made a marked difference. Because why? Because they were able to handle our emotions. There is I mean, in some of the books, like, if you read about teachers, the most celebrated teachers, they were different, because while you were passing through different difficult times, they were able to understand their reality and give you positive affirmations, so that you could actually steer your process through life itself. So understanding of the self is through the guru, that there are so many temptations, miles to go before I sleep, miles to go before I sleep. And therefore, understanding self, what is it that you really want in life? What is it that is important? What is it that you need to prioritize? So understanding of self comes through the teacher itself, and therefore the importance of mentorship in spirituality is a non-negotiable. Then, of course, exploring consciousness. How do we explore consciousness? Right now, we have had a short meditation term. So that, when you freeze other outward vectors and you focus on yourself, and inside, then you are, tuned to more of your consciousness. In India, we have, the yoga, and yoga in the previous session was said it's a unity. The unity is, unity is with God itself. When the soul and our bodies, merge together, that is the unity that we're talking about. There are several kinds of yogas, and the most popular is the Ashtanga yoga, in which you have yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, dhyan, dharana, and then samadhi. So all these things give you, that how these are different stages of how you will reach the ultimate goal, is that the moksha, that when you are free from the cycle of birth and rebirth. And that is what every human being actually is, aiming for. So exploring consciousness at different levels, you could be at a lower level, or level 1, 2, 3. There are 8 vats, and in different kinds of yogic practices, they can be 4-fold path, they can be 3-fold path, at whatever the ways and the approaches to yoga is. But then you are at a different level, and when you want to reach to the next level, that is exploring consciousness. And then, of course, combining both the science and spirituality. We are all living in a material world, so we do need to understand the science behind, and of course the spirituality behind that. So how do we bring up synergy by we are nurturing our souls in a very different way, and also trying to be living in this material world. So the dialectics there is settled to the guru itself. And of course the guru influences in a very impressionistic way. You have so many people around you, teachers, non-teachers and all, but you actually in your subconscious actually emulate some which are actually the ones that influence you more. You like to be like the X person or white person within the family, outside the family, in the school, in the college, but where your energies actually match. So we have to see the energy matching, and that is how we try to influence each other. Also, while we are matching, we also have to be mindful about the different perspectives that are there, and our perspectives should be aligned. I mean, we should be on the same page of the hymn book to say say, the perspectives, that we have, the common value system that we have, and to understand, what we don't have. It's important to know what we have. Also, it's important to know what we don't have, so that we can align these things. And consciousness as a fundamental quality, that we are all part of the larger being, one being and one consciousness, because we are all parts of it, from the larger consciousness. The Our planet is one part, water, earth, the trees, the animal kingdom, the human lives, they're all part of one single consciousness. So we need to be sensitive to each and every way, and this has to be awakened through the guru, which is called the awakening of, our minds and our consciousness, where we 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 actually reach a level of synergy where we are one, and we can feel the vibes of the other people. So science actually tells you what's tangible, but consciousness takes you to the untangible. Science leaves you at the material world, and consciousness takes you to the outer world also, where you're there. So what are the skills that are levels that we need to know, is that we need to first survive, build relationships. First level is to we need to survive, survival of the fittest. Then we need to build relationships and the self-esteem. We have just heard in the human rights that we have to be very conscious about the self-esteems of others. And then, of course, the transformative stage. We are all born in a different way, but we evolve and transform. So then we reach the transformation, internal cohesion, of what is outside world and the inside. They have to be the more cohesive they are, the more peaceful you are. The more desegregated they are, the more you are not in cohesion with them. And that leads to the value that is much needed in this world, called service, that you lead service to other people, service to animals, service to planet, service to people who are marginalized and all that. And then once you start serving, then you get lots of things in your soul. The first being the peace, second joy, love, bliss, purity, power, and truth. So don't I mean I my the take is that don't judge the day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. The harvest is already planted and you just get the benefits, but the seeds that you plant actually are more transformative in nature. And of course, what does the real spiritual mentor actually do? Is that you are on the path, so he gives you affirmations and encouragement. Yes, you are on the right path, you're doing this, grow gradually, grow, keep doing, and then and also that is an encouraging, well done, good, excellent, yes, correct, oh wow. All these affirmations and encouragement help you motivate to maintain and go ahead in the right path. And of course, the guru also is role model. There are three ways how you could influence. The first and the foremost is the impressionistic way, that you are such an enlightened soul yourself that people follow you, and not the repressionistic, that by force you are trying to do, or a free laissez-faire style, where you just are a little haywire in choosing, sometimes this, sometimes that. But one guru, one spiritual mentor, one person who can make all the difference. So the role model is another important way how the spiritual mentorship can be actually that can straddle a person who is reaching a path of spirituality. Also, it builds in accountability, that yes, at what level, how much have you been able to do, how much more is to be done. So that accountability, that that also builds into the process, that is very, very important. That a leader can actually tell you that where you actually going the right way, or where is it that you're erring, and how do you actually take control of that. And then next is, of course, advising every stage in your spiritual journey, and the time that you are spending in other things also. So advise how to balance the two, and also how to take it forward from there. That is, of course, there. Next is, of course, is the listening ear, because many a times we know that we want to talk out, there are several things which are there in our minds that we want to reach out to people, but there is just nobody to listen. But then a leader or a teacher or a guru actually needs to have a listening ear, so that you are able to understand your disciple in the way he understands himself. So the listening ear becomes very important, that you have a listening ear, so you are able to listen to your everybody, and then once you know them and understand them the way they want to, then you can steer the path for them in a better way. And this leads to spiritual growth. Spiritual growth is it also is not only of the disciple, but also the mentor himself, because when you have several kinds of disciples and you build in many perspectives within your own spiritual growth, so the path that you are taking is a very enriched path, and it takes you very, very high in life. So you have the nourishment of the soul, nourishment of the mind, nourishment of the body through mindfulness, through several things that we have gone through the previous speakers also, that how then the role of the teacher, who's taking you through the path, holding your hand, so that you have your questions, answers, anxieties, all things are sorted out, and you can move higher and higher in this path of journey, spiritual journey. So with that, I end my formal this thing, and I'm open to some question and answers if there are any.
Thank you, Aarti ji. It was a very useful topic that you picked up. Being an academician yourself, you gave some light on what is the importance of a spiritual mentor in bringing peace within yourself. As you mentioned that Guru nourishes your soul, that was really very profound. That shows that how much deep existence of Guru goes in your personality. And as you also mentioned, lots of disturbances happens in life, but Guru reminds you that miles to go before you sleep. Guru also invokes one consciousness in you. And you mentioned that there are lots of ways Guru contribute in your life, through affirmations, through encouragement, through right kind of advice. Guru himself role models and listens to you so that you can share whatever you feel like. And Guru provides a multi-dimensional nourishment to you. And you also mentioned it is not only one way, Guru himself also gets elevated with this nourishment, and this is a mutual process. That's very profound. Thank you very much, Aarti ji. I'm being joined by Mr. Karthik from USA to thank you today. Karthik ji.
Thank you, everyone. We cannot believe that the 7-day UCC event is coming to a conclusion today.
Thank you, Aarti ji.
And thank you to Vikrantji for hosting this entire event. And first of all, I want to take a time to each and every guest who made a commitment, time, and come and participate and to share their so much knowledge and wisdom. Let me just quickly summarize how just today event was. So many panels and so many discussion happened. The day started with Sanjay Srivastava on the role of inner peace. Right, he brought it up two important message in the UCC event today. How do we have to have a transcendental mindset, right, or state of mind? What is a transcendental? How our mind is so fluid, but how do we stay unaffected? He rightly coined in the word of the transcendental state of mind, where the things happen around us there. And he profoundly highlighted the second chapter of Gita, what are the solution is given and how you should be able to approach it and attain that part of it there. And again, if the role of inner peace, if you want to the meditative state of mind, there are various stages, and he just pointed out the beginning entry point, the transcendental layer. And he concluded with another important topic, how to detach from your desires. I know it's a lot of very difficult part and what it means by detach from desires, but definitely you read the chapter 2 and 3, energy. You'll see how a desire will lead to a lot of pain, and how do you unattach it from there. You so much energy and so much enthusiasm that you could do and deliver to this world. Two important notes that came out of that role of inner peace in the life. I like to thank Sanjay ji for that very wonderful insight in the day. Then the Sebastian came with the music mean mental peace, right? United Conscious is all about bringing different type of peace. So we aligned not only the academics and the spiritual leaders, the music is part of it there. And you can imagine, somebody told me there, the playing a notes on a music very easy, but when to not to play a note and have a silence is very very difficult, and it will be learned only from a master. You cannot do it by yourself, just reading it through or playing it there. When to stop and not to play is a silence there, and I'm going to talk towards the end about this as well there. But a great, and I learned a new instrument which I never heard of before there, and it's so soothing. And there, and definitely, as Vikranji mentioned, we want you to come to next year our event and play this and bring a rich culture from your country. Thank you, Sebastian, for that. Then we went to the Yogendraji Chauhan, which provided a nice critical yoga postures there. So forget about you are a spiritual person or not, and you have some challenges. I am in pain right now. I have challenges catching up in my daily life. What are the things I supposed to do? Do these specific postures there. Be healthy. Be healthy. Your stomachs are like your abdomens are like a different back pains are how to be inflexible. We are all sitting in the whole day of the chairs, are like doing more and more stuff at home, but how do we have it a flexibility on yourself? These particular things you'll start, then you see the value of the whole yoga system that you can come and participate. Start with where you want to solve your pain. You have a whole new world that you'll enter into the yoga and Ayurveda in this case. Thank you, Chauhan ji and spouse, for providing a wonderful background commentary. I'm able to correlate on each and every steps that he did. It's, I don't know how much in that age, how flexible he was showing it, even in a kid, whether we can do it or not. But he had so much flexibility and showed the enthusiasm to the each and every step. The commentary was so good. Thank you, Chauhan ji there. Then we connected with Amit Pandeyji, who brought up a very unique perspective about how the tradition that we do prayer in the forest or river, right? I never thought of in that way, where in Kerala or in the forest, some of the places we go and worship snake. It's not about just a worship of the higher power there. It's just how to protect your environment, right? When you pray something, like you won't go make bad things on this one. You will not go cut the forest. You will not go do bad things over either river or forest. It's all why our ancient people go and worship there. There's a meaning towards it. So in that way, only how he connected river Narmada to the forest, and then the responsibility of eco-friendliness. I think he connected the modern and then the Asian prayers together. I so love about it. I think we should hear more about that for the next generation. Why such a prayers exist, or why such a things that we do here. Thank you, Pandeyji, on that. And then I think Vikranji itself did a good justice on the panel. I think the panel today was like really fantastic about the Gen Z and their mindset. And I'll just highlight two things where about on top of what Vikranji's mentioned about it there. As Augustine said, don't escape your emotion. The social medias are like a way to ventilate the social emotion, but trust that is not ventilating. It is just burying and doing more there. Face it, there are as you said, like the smart body, your body has a capability to do a lot of things. Go out to the nature, go out and ventilate yourself. There are so many options that's available for you. I think the panel was like hitting the multi-dimensional aspect of the next generation of the kids. It's a note for the parents what they're supposed to do. Take your kid to the walk, take your kid to a play, take to do whatever in this case that will unplug from the gadgets. And I also like the fact that says using your gadgets electronic make you old. And we know some of all the kids in the next generation how they are wearing glasses very sooner in the age is one of the indications there. So that should be, we should market at them, how do we want to reduce it. I think the panel was great about how we should say, like small tips. Even if you're not a spiritual person, how do we do small techniques that you unhook from the real world, the digital world there. Then hitting into the Dennis, I think he came and hit the nail today about like three things there, right? How you want to be compassionate, how you want to be collaborative, how you want to be in the kindness there, right? He put it the whole value system, whether you are a spiritual person or not, doesn't matter. You don't, you belong to a personal particular religion or not, doesn't matter. You are a kind person, you want to do the peace there. And again, he piloted this silence. You give a moment of silence for the people who are suffering there. So that's the one message I'm going to conclude today. The silence, what it brings to you is slow down from the fast world. Either it's a young generation or the other people. You are working work, or the cycle of your work and then personal. Take a moment of silence. You don't need to be meditative. Just sit in a place and be silent for a few minutes in a day. What that brings in, you start listening to your inner voice. That will start exploring the question what this silence means. Silence is a great technique and tool. I think two of our musicians and spiritual leader and the community leader mentioned it. I think if you want to start somewhere, silence is my message today, to go and then practice there. Eventually you'll get it into the meditation and then other techniques that silence will bring it to you as well. And so many wonderful points that he brought it up about the humanity and then the value chain. Greatly appreciates Dennis' insight today in our talk today. And finally, concluding it there, Aarti mentioned about how to important to have a guru. If you're a spiritual leader, don't read just by yourself. Take a role model, follow the role model. You may be definitely able to follow through the footsteps of our gurus and then the value system that they provided. And you can always, our Sanatana Dharma is one with have as a question. You can always question about what the topics that you want to do. Until all your questions are clarified, the teachers are there to answer for you. Even if your parents not able to answer, your friends not able to answer, guru do have the answers. And we have a variety of domains there. I think I just summarize there's a yoga as a domain, Ayurvedic as a domain there, our spiritual Upanishads as a domain there. Whichever that connects for you, always that you can kind of go over there. And along that, there are many programs you have seen in our UCC promotion video that you should take it out, participate. Any question, reach out to us. And thank you very much for the United Consciousness to provide this opportunity. Thanks all and have a nice day.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्।
This shloka means, may everyone be happy, may everyone be free from all diseases, may everyone see goodness and auspiciousness in everything, may none be unhappy or distressed. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. I am highly privileged to have this opportunity to present my gratitude to all those who have witnessed and blessed this event directly or indirectly. I believe that this is not the end, but the beginning of our journeys. The journeys towards the noble cause of removing the 14 divides rooted in human race and promoting harmonious and peaceful coexistence. Firstly, I thank the God for blessing us all. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Rajesh Rabindranath of Project Self USA, Yogi Baba Adnan and Madam Kubuk of Siddha Ashram Yoga Center, Mr. Andre Reel of Nidra Yoga, Swami Suryananda Saraswati of European Yoga Federation, Mr. Sukhdev Volker-Brett of Yoga Vidya, Mr. Valdemar Parado of Yoga Yogeshmo, Ms. Patricia Wegle of AAYT, Ms. Emmy Blessio of CUIDY, Ms. Valentina Cortene of African Spiritual Council, Mr. Andre Lebanau of Yoga Lam, Mr. Josh Pryor of Yoga Australia, and Mr. Jose Druge of for your invaluable contribution and support. I'm also very thankful to Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar of United Consciousness for hosting such a beautiful program. I also thank Team United Consciousness for their valuable contributions to such a beautiful program.